Then
Let's throw something up. There we go. Welcome everybody to the Arcade Hangouts. Coming at you. We are the longest running live arcade podcast on YouTube. Usually with more women than the other guy, but the woman's not here yet. Oh, here she comes. Terry's coming at you from San Diego.
I realize I haven't adjusted all the
drinks,
levels,
so she might be rowdy.
Let's up to 11 there, Jim.
Yeah, I keep finding the ones that I haven't adjusted. I'm like, oh, this would be a good one. Like, oh yeah, didn't normalize that one.
So anyway, we are a group of friends that like to talk about arcade games and talk about our pickups and our current games. And every week we usually do a question of the week. Carrie's still getting her headset on. This week's question is, now that it's we have about 2 more months to go for the end of the year, what are you gonna try and grab before the end of the year? What game do you have in mind? Yeah,
it's not a question for Donald Trump.
Are you done for the year? Are you still going to get 1 or 2 more games, or do you have something you have in mind you're going to be grabbing? And if so, what is that going to be? So that's our question of the week.
And make sure you have consent before you grab anything. It's our PSA for the night.
We don't want any Me Too incidences here on the show. So I'll just go ahead and start. I'll start the ball rolling. That everybody kind of already knows this one is that I'm sending off my money. I don't know how much, in case my wife's listening to the show. I'm sending off for my Monster Bash Limited Edition pinball.
LE.
So
nice.
It's gonna be really sweet, and they've done some really killer improvements, just like they did for Medieval Madness, where they redrew the scoreboard. The scoreboard's like twice the size too, and they've made it so the LEDs change color when you do your shot. So if you're doing a Dracula, the playfield turns red, or if you're fighting
That's awesome.
Frankenstein, it turns green. Yeah. So they made a lot of improvements. They even added like a little plasma disc in the background and has a cool topper. Really.
And you've got an open spot already. You're waiting for it, even, right?
I have an open spot. I've been waiting since March for this game. So I just talked to my pin dealer, and he says it's most likely going to ship in December. So
nice.
But I'm going to be in Europe in December, so I have to tell him to, I'll probably tell him to hold on to it and wait until 2 days before I get back.
Yeah. How long are you in Europe for?
Nice.
Europe has great Chinese food.
Well, that's Europe Town.
Yes, I'm going to going for God 16th of December, and we're leaving like the 28th of this month.
Oh, nice! You did that last year, right?
Yeah, I did last year, and this time it's just my wife and I going, and a couple friends.
That's cool.
My daughter's not going, so she's bummed. So she'll be house sitting and stuff.
So watch out for the pickpocketers and thieves.
Yeah.
The bright side, you get more alone time in the hotels, right?
Yeah, there you go. Last time it was like, ain't happening.
You're like constantly sending her to the store to pick up stuff.
Yeah. Go down to Starbucks and get a coffee. In fact, why don't you study while you're down there?
Comes back, your shirt's all buttoned, all crooked.
Yeah.
You're all sweaty.
You got the freshly fucked look. Yeah. Nice. So it'll be hopefully some more hanky-panky, because there was 0 hanky-panky last year of trip. It was sleepy. Yeah. Oh, man.
Nice combination there.
Nice.
Multitasking.
Wait, there were rails to begin with? Did I miss that? Did anybody
anyway,
on KLV, by the way?
Oh, that's right. I don't think we did.
I'm on my phone, so I don't have. I can't see
Larry
any
asked-
chat or anything.
Hey, you
Larry
got a
asked if I'm
haircut.
going to
Yeah.
Amsterdam. Yes, I am going to Amsterdam for
It makes it
few
more
days.
thinner.
You
My son calls me an egghead now. He says I look like an egg shell.
Aw, you look very nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're
Don't
skipping going
Wilhelm
to,
whistle.
skipping going to England so we could spend more days in Amsterdam because we only went one day last year and it was so fun and the food is so good. The people are so nice, super clean city, and they speak like perfect English too. So it's like no communication barriers or anything, you know.
Nice.
So.
And plus, England's overrated. England's overrated. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people that say that I was going there to smoke weed, no, I live in California, so I can smoke weed.
Yeah.
If I want.
That's true.
Right. Yeah.
That's not the reason. But anyway, yeah. So that's my answer. Mouse or Bash. So does anybody want to go next? Ready?
Wow. Volunteer. I'll go. I'll just
Okay,
go.
Carrie.
Even though I came late. But
Better
I'll
late
be
than
I'll
never.
just elbow.
That was easy, Jim.
Yeah,
I know,
but
right? As soon as I said that, I'm like, oh, Carrie, what are
Here
you?
it comes.
I'm not on my game here. Set myself up there. I will say in the next 2 months, I hope to get fucking nothing. Oh my God, I have no room. Like the only thing that I can think of that I would
nothing.
Yes, and I will like getting nothing because I have no room whatsoever. And I
Really?
have, like, yeah, fuck you.
You could
Start
ship
giving
Jim
them-
your.
Even if I got something
Lord of the
and
Rings.
I found room, you would give me shit about it. Like,
I know.
yeah,
I would,
right.
I would.
So yeah, like, you know,
Like
why?
my duty.
Yeah,
Duty!
the duty in the punch bowl. Like, oh, game excitement here. Look, you have no room. Yeah. I know. Fuck you.
By the way, congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll just add a little taint of sour to that sweet there. The only thing I would consider figuring out how the hell I would fit it into my house is a tax scan. But I don't want one now. I want one in like a couple of years when I'm growing tired of some game or two in my collection. But at the moment, I don't like. I'm not bringing that. I'm not conjuring that in the universe for it to come down upon me.
But like, how often does that pop up? If you ever see one,
I've
you better
never seen
grab
one.
it.
That's just it. Like if one came available, I'd have to be like, well, shit, I have to.
I don't think I've ever seen one ever.
The only one I've ever seen come available is DJDNS on KLOV. We'll just throw out all the initials. Had like a homemade cabaret version of one.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
Right. Yeah. But it was Make Me an Offer. It was an MMAO.
Like they always are.
Yeah, exactly. So with DJ DNS on KLOV with an MMAO.
Click this link for pictures, and it's pictures of everything. You have to like search for the picture of the item.
Yeah.
I did a deal with him. It actually worked out all right.
Nice.
Deal.
Well, Lottie freaking got.
For new
right? Like,
internet?
did you have to MMAO? Or
Here's an acronym, FU.
No, he contacted me. He contacted me.
Yeah.
I didn't purchase. He bought.
Got it. Oh, nice.
And I actually spoke to him on the phone. But I didn't mean to interrupt. I just had contact with him.
Yeah. No. This is. I think this is an interruption-free zone in the sense that there is no such thing as interrupting because we all just talk at the same time anyway.
3, 2, 1, go.
But yeah, so I'm. Yeah, so that's the
one of these weeks we're gonna have to do the question of the night, and everybody answers at the exact same time.
Oh my God! Then we're done.
Already done it.
That would be awesome. All right, good night, everyone.
Yeah.
We'll
We're just done with the question.
We'll do that for our Christmas show because.
Yes. All right, write that down.
Yes, Christmas on Tuesday this year, right?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Is it?
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
no way.
And then New Year's Eve is also, I think, the next week.
New Year's Day, right?
New Year's Eve. Day is a Tuesday.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Day is a Tuesday.
Eve is Monday, yeah.
That totally sucks.
Yeah.
Although I don't really have many plans, so
I don't do anything on New Year's.
For New Year's Day.
yeah, or
Yeah,
Christmas.
You're traveling. You might be
Oh,
traveling.
that's true.
You
Oh,
might be
that's right.
traveling
On
this
New
year,
Year's.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this year I take it back. The Christmas I'm pretty free. But probably everybody else has. Most people probably have plans that are you know.
Well, you guys could come out a couple days early, and we could freeze our asses out here.
Oh my god. How
do a
fun
show.
would that
Oh,
be?
you guys have a Denver trip planned?
We have a brief yes and no. It's a so Jim and I are
pass-through.
going
It's a-
on a
It's a one night stand.
It's okay,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I wasn't gonna put
But
it
not
that
the
way. But
last night stand.
it's so true. It's
So
but you know,
It's
this-
one of many.
yeah, exactly. It isn't. That would imply that that's the only one, and
Yeah.
you know, it's one of hopefully many one night stands.
The first night stand.
Yeah, or maybe kind of the second night stand because we had a one night stand before Nat 2017
Galaxy
too, or
has
Denver
changed.
That's
Denver.
true. In Denver, right? Yes.
Yeah,
that's
so this is our second one night
true.
stand.
You guys have stayed here before.
Mm,
That's true.
yes, we have. Yes, with the dog in the bed too.
With the dog.
Actually, I think that Jim actually chose the dog over me because I was like gonna come back in the bedroom. He's like, "Yeah, good luck." Like,
The dog is warmer. Yeah.
probably on many levels.
All right. So what were we talking about?
Yeah.
So anyway, Christmas.
Yeah.
So yeah, that went off the
So
rails
tax
quick.
scan.
You can
Tax-
live stream that. That'll be nice.
Tax scan. Yes.
Tax scan.
Legit.
No, we're just
Rain
it's
in
all
that
just
shit.
jokes.
Tap
All-
scan.
Yeah, it's all just jokes. Yeah, so I would love a tax scan, but I don't want a tax scan now.
Does anybody know what they go for when they come out? I've
It
never
goes
seen
for
one.
an
$200.
Well, it's Vector, right? That's a Vector game.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is
It's a
So
very
automatically
undesirable
you're
game. You're into $150.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's one of the games that like the monitors tend to catch fire on their own. So it's like you're having a arsonist in the garage. So I think
Yeah.
you need to deduct like $500 just for that, like the risk of losing everything.
Oy.
Yeah, it's kind of the downside of that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that
Is
so
it
that's
possible? Is it possible to put a monitor that doesn't catch fire in it?
I want to say they make mods for the Sega ones.
An
to be able to run,
LCD.
like a 61. Yeah.
God.
I want to say they did some kind of mod where you can run a 6100 in Sega games. That-
I think you're.
I want to say I've seen that done.
Yeah, at least there's been talk about it. You're right. Well, I'll burn that bridge when we get to it, so to speak, because yeah,
That
at
would
the
be one
moment-
I think that Arc Revival would be having a really hard time whether he wants to hate you or love you. Because like
Oh,
you're pulling a
Right.
40 or 6100 out of some other vector game, but then you're saving that vector game.
right? Yeah,
So it's like the dilemma, you know.
yeah,
Maybe,
and my
yeah.
entire collection, so it doesn't go up in flames.
Yes, there you go. That's
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I think
And your house.
for Dave though, I think it would be pretty cut and dry. It should be the original monitor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
He would say turn your AC down to like 60 degrees in the,
Yeah.
in the room
That's
it's
right.
in.
put some fans on that thing.
Yeah.
Or how about like I'm thinking like an asbestos blanket. I can just when I'm not
There
when
you
you're not
go.
like just unveil it when you go to play it because my understanding is part of the issue is it doesn't actually have to. I mean, at least what Urban Legend says, it doesn't actually have to be on in order to catch fire.
Oh
So-
no.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it'd be
That's
one thing if
weird.
it was just when it was on, but apparently that's not the case. And
You
so,
go on vacation, you come back, and the cabinet's just black, just
Yeah.
blown out the side.
Wait.
Have you seen people where they take a PC fan and they tape it or they strap it to the monitor and they just have it powered to the board?
Mhm.
You guys ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
No.
I've seen Craigslist listings where they show the back of the arcade thing, and I've seen a PC fan stuck on a monitor. It's like, is that to keep it cool? I
That's
guess.
crazy.
Get the
Yeah.
airflow going. Yeah.
Was that the airflow
Install,
bot on
install a
one
liquid
position?
cooling kit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You like add an actual liquid radiator and have that.
Oh, yeah.
pump.
Well, they have like doorbells for player coin up buttons, so why not have like a ceiling fan to cool off the back of your machine?
A ceiling fan.
Oh yeah, you guys remember like in our Airbnb they had those dinky little ceiling fans?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Those would totally fit in the back. and spin around perfectly happy.
Yeah.
Hey, the bigger the fan, the quieter it is,
You
right?
can actually create a positive air pressure zone inside the cabinet, so that like your marquee is like bubbled out.
Yeah.
Air's like trying to find its way out of the edges.
There's little pockets around the bezel, so you're getting blown in the face as you're playing.
Yeah,
Where's
like
that breeze coming from?
what is it? The irritating maze.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Nice.
All right. So does anybody else volunteering to go next? I like this approach.
I think you should pick someone that actually has like a game, like something they want to pick up. So I'm out. Choose.
Well, everybody's going to need to answer the question regardless of whether you. So how am I supposed to know? That's where people are supposed to raise their damn hand.
Raise your hand.
Okay. I'm seeing no hands. In that case, I'm going for Gak.
Yeah.
Is Lisa
I
around?
almost feel like I'm
No.
in the same mode as for like the last couple years. I'm not really actively looking for another game, but if a right deal pops up, I won't be able to say no. Yeah, that's the affliction I have.
The disease.
Yes, yes.
It
But
itches.
You know,
Worst spots.
I mean, sure, I'd love to find a Discitron or a really nice food fight or something, but
Oh, you wouldn't say no to like a $500 tapper or
exactly.
like
Right? Yeah.
$300 paper
But right
boy.
now,
It's like, all right,
really-
you know.
Ah, you twist my arm.
I was gonna tell Carrie there's a Time Soldiers for $300 right now.
There's some time soldiers up here too. I'm somehow managing to resist.
There's actually a
Oh.
Tempest in Connecticut for like 600, which I don't know if that's a good deal or not.
Is
But
it working?
Mhm.
Oh, it's a hell of a deal.
Even if it's just parts, that's worth it.
Yeah.
Yep.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
All right, those are a lot of yeses on that one. All right, got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to be looking at maps of Connecticut. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Keith,
Road
Keith's
trip.
selling a couple things. He's selling his Dragon's Lair 2 for $3,500. Ouch!
Wow.
And he's
Oh,
trying to
man.
trade his Star Wars
Dave.
trilogy arcade.
Dragon's
Really?
Lair, not two.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you could just buy the that that ROM disc that could play our Dragon's Lair
Oh.
1 on it, right?
Yeah.
The,
mine plays Dragon's Lair
Dexter?
2.
Dexter, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But it's not the original cabinet.
And
That's part of
Spaces.
the original. That's
Oh,
what
okay.
I remember.
Yeah, that's true.
I actually like the Dragon's Lair 1 cabinet better. I just think it looks cooler.
Mhm.
I like the graphics on it better.
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of
Yeah.
like painted.
Too.
Yeah, and Gak, you were talking about like with your cabinet, like it's like even if you do that, it's like that bezel, that setup, that cabinet's like the right one to get.
Yeah, exactly. I know there's the purists like the Dragon or the Space Ace that are like inverted.
I don't like that.
I don't care for them myself. They just
I don't
look
either.
looking. Yeah.
They smell.
But, yeah. Yeah. So sorry, I don't really have anything I'm like trying to chase down right now, other than just trying to get games working and having a playable space out here. So,
It looks great.
Yeah.
I
Thanks,
didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
the
I
last
kinda-
time I saw a picture, it looked like a warehouse.
yes. Well, I did.
Yeah.
So the weekend after Grinkfest, actually, it was 2 weeks later. My wife, I get back from Grinkfest, right? And my wife's like, "Hey, so I talked to some friends at work, and I want to invite a bunch of coworkers over, like on a Saturday night, before Halloween." I'm like, like I want to get this playable space for people to hang out. I don't want them to walk them out in the garage and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is kind
What
of cool."
a dump!
Exactly, right?
You're
So
like,
what,
my
you having a
stomach
garage
hurts.
sale?
Yeah.
The whole next weekend, I got both my sons to help me. We basically had to take like everything completely out of the garage, and then reorganize it back into the garage so it was usable space. But it turned out really, really good though, because I got the kegerator working, and so I had maybe 3 or 4 coworkers come over. My wife had maybe 15 people she knew. Yeah. Well, she's a
Oh, it's
teacher.
little-
She
yeah,
knows a lot of
wow.
teachers and their spouses and stuff. So, but yeah, it was a good time. We had fun that night. So,
Nice.
but yeah, so that was kind of like the push to get it, a more playable space. That's the Saturday before Halloween. So, but yeah, and then I just been exhausted since, like I got the space heaters out here now, so it's more bearable right now. But
Are you caught up with work where you're good now?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy, but I'm pretty much caught up now. So, because I have next week off on vacation, so I'm planning on getting hammered next Tuesday. Just a warning.
That a boy.
Just a warning.
The liver is rejuvenated a little bit.
Time to order the Devo hat now. Too late.
It only took a month and a half.
Wait for the Black Friday sale.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty fun though. I mean, it was. I think Carrie, you were going to talk about your Halloween experience too, but
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
I listened to. I missed the last couple shows with you guys, but I did listen to them. Driving back and forth to work. But the one thing I noted, when I see people come out here, I kind of show them all the games and talk about the stuff. But it's like, unless they're familiar with the game, they're really not going to play it, unless you force them. And, I had multiple people say, oh yeah, I totally remember that, my pole position. But even now it's got a RAM error, when you first power it up, it works fine for 5 minutes and then it blips out. So, but Donkey Kong and Miss Pac-Man, those two were played a lot. And then we got a really good session on Super Sprint though. So,
nice.
having three of us going back and forth. So that was pretty fun. But yeah, in general, my collection is what I want, right? So,
right.
Yeah.
So it's, a collector's collection, not a general public collection,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of funny seeing that. My son, he kept, gravitating to Fire Escape, so he got he had a couple friends stay the night too, and so they were playing that for a while. But yeah, so then, and I think
anybody beat 21 million?
No. It's maybe Carrie, you mentioned that too. It's my biggest gripe with that game is if you coin up a game and you don't finish it and you walk away, the freaking thing sits there.
Yes.
And it's like you got to finish the game or power cycle it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son did it. I was here the other day.
Somebody needs to hack the code on that one.
Yeah, it needs a timeout.
Yeah.
It's just
so. Yeah.
Have your sons or you had a chance to play the that little Nintendo?
I have not. That is on my list too. I really need to get
on your vacation.
Yes.
Okay, just give me a call or whatever if you have questions on how to do save states.
It's pretty much plug and play, right? I put it in the Pi.
It should be.
Plug it into the TV. Get my remote or my controller, configured, and then I should. And
but also there's ways to do things like how to exit games. Or how to do save states, because you can do save states on any of the games.
Oh wow!
So that way you can play and practice a certain area or whatever. Or if you're playing Genesis or whatever, you can save state wherever you want. You don't have to look for a save point or whatever. So that's pretty cool. I'm building a new RetroPie with the new RetroPie B Plus, and they just came out with the Genesis mini console. And it has, it's made just for the RetroPie, and it goes in there, and it connects.
That's my pie.
You hit a button. The round part of the top of the Genesis. Well, that actually pops open. You put your SD cards in there to hold them for storage. The start button will reset it, and there's a switch. And I don't know. It's really cool. It's just like the NES Mini Classic that you guys have seen, but it's just the Genesis.
Okay.
So I thought I always thought the Genesis was a cool looking console.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
And by the way, Carrie and Jim, congrats on your twins. It was very unexpected and as a surprise to, I'm sure, most of the viewers.
I'll be right back, guys.
Right? I know that was funny. That was
I literally what? The message. The first we're chatting and just being Carrie and having a normal conversation, and then I get a response from the seller, and and the conversation just takes a 90-degree turn on, and I just respond, "Holy shit! Yeah. You'll never believe this." Yeah.
Yep, that's awesome.
It's fucking weird. Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah. Yeah,
so, that was game.
That was crazy.
Well, so with that, I'm
but cool.
Jimbo. Jimbo, your turn.
All right. All right.
A Gap Plus is your next game, right?
Yeah. Well, I gotta say that. I mean, a lot of pickups I understand are unplanned or unexpected and whatnot. And
Just
this
like pregnancies. Sorry.
Yeah. Another PSA: safe sex, children. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget to pull out, boys.
Yep. Come on the tits.
Me too.
You know, thanks for
Way to not beat around the bush, if you know what I mean.
I like how you hint around that.
Nah.
Everyone's all being subtle and a little bit of innuendo.
Leo just like goes straight for the porno.
Yeah.
I take a shit on their chest.
Oh boy.
Like that
No.
kid on well, what the fuck's the one that Nick Kroll did, that sitcom, that cartoon?
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that
just
cartoon.
kinda,
So
Season
funny.
2 is great.
Yeah. Just
Well, the new
motivated
season
on
came
it.
out, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't watched
me and
it
Carrie
yet.
just finished it.
Oh, really? Is the first,
Yeah.
the first one?
It was really good.
Oh,
yeah,
so funny. Yeah, it's
It's good,
just
yeah.
it's just as good as the first season.
Oh,
It's
cool.
spectacular. Yeah.
So, what was I saying?
Yeah.
So this was completely unexpected. I wasn't planning on getting anything for the rest of the year, and I couldn't say no to that. So I can't say that there's nothing, but kind of like in the same boat as Carrie, I don't want to be tempted for the remainder of the year because with the holidays, this is like I've got a lot of big bills that pop up. So like I don't want to be tempted to spend any more money than I'm already invested in other things. But with that said, of course I'm not going to say no if a Big Blue or like a Super Punch Out. Those are the only two games that at this point I could still probably be persuaded if there was a killer deal. But
or dedicated
really,
Trog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that I'm not too worried about popping up anytime soon.
All right, Jim. No, so but like because we brought it up, I have to test you on that. So you're saying that if like a $250 Paperboy showed up, you'd be like, nah, or Tapper, or some game that you're not looking for, you would be like, nah.
Well, but see, that goes. Then you start getting into our conversation about flipping games because that's what you're teasing.
Yeah.
I know it is.
And honestly, like, I don't know. I don't think I would. Like, yeah, a $200 if it needed work, maybe, because then I would fix it up and then. But I'm not gonna just like pick up a game, take a picture of it. At the location or at at my storage unit just and as is and be like, here you go, $2,000.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, all right. So I know
Minnesota has a bunch of collectors.
The question goes further, and maybe this is like a question for another show entirely.
No. We can get into big fights. It'll be awesome.
We'll save this. I'll post it in the show question thing, but we'll move on.
Yeah. Well, and if something like that pops up, Minnesota has probably, I don't know how many collectors, but, I would say at least 20, 30 that are real avidly seeking stuff all the time.
Right.
And I would never see something like that because I would be too late to it. Because I maybe check Craigslist or these other sites like once a day, maybe, if I'm lucky. Otherwise, it's just like real random. And so a deal like that, that'd be deleted. Like that's part of the reason why. The only reason I got lucky with this Gap Plus is because the seller. Well, there are a couple of reasons. One, I just happened to catch it like within I don't know like a day that it was posted. But the big reason was someone was already supposed to have this, but it was raining on the Sunday or whatever that he had posted it, and they didn't want it, so they canceled. They were going to reschedule, and then the seller works nights and he works weekends. And I just happened. I was working remotely the next day, so I'm like, you know what? I can pick it up. Like it worked out. But normally,
it happened to be a Wednesday that we had too much drink the night before, but you still took the day off the next day?
No, I
It
picked
worked.
it up on Tuesday before the show. Yeah. No, but no, it worked out. But that being said, there was already interest. So like the odds were already against me on this. Something like that's even more iconic. There's no way on a deal like that. There was what, Carrie, that was what, like a month or two ago, there was that championship sprint I told you about that popped up.
Yeah.
And it was like it was $200 for a
man.
championship sprint.
Yeah.
And it was just hours. So it wasn't even that long. And I contacted the seller and he responds, "Oh yeah, this has been sold." And then like 2 seconds later it was deleted. So
Yeah.
and that was the only thing that I was like slightly persuaded. But I'm like, I actually said this to you. I'm like, I hate being tempted by this because I have no interest in the game.
Right. No, there's interesting questions, but there's other opportunities, and this would be part of like that, maybe part of that show that we'll talk about. But like, you could have been over there picking up that Gal Plus, and this turns into like the Fire Escape story from Dave, where it's like he wasn't there to buy Fire Escape, he was there to buy another couple games.
No.
And then all of a sudden, the opportunity presents itself, and then it's like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, are you interested in any of these crappy games? And then you're like,
yeah. Well, it's kind of like I had that Qbert opportunity for super, like, what was it, $400 or $500 Qbert, and it's like, I don't like Qbert.
Yeah.
I would never pick up Qbert for myself. The only reason I would get it is because I'm like, ooh, this is a deal. I could flip it. Like, I hope that hopefully somebody who liked Qbert got that Qbert, and it's and it was sold late within hours. But it was like I was right there, and it's like it just didn't feel right. And that what the tipping point is for that of being like, here's $100 Qbert versus a 500, but it's like I feel what would suck is knowing that it went to somebody who flipped it.
Yeah.
Right.
And what makes me feel good about it is the idea that it went to somebody who loves Qbert, who wouldn't have been able to get a Qbert otherwise.
Mhm.
I never would have been able to get my reactor, but for the fact that I lucked into a cheap reactor. And it's like, I love that game and I'm gonna hang on to it for like, it would be one of the last ones I would ever get rid of. But if somebody got it to flip it, like, wouldn't that suck as opposed to somebody who got it, who actually really loves it and is going to hang on to it?
All right. Well, what about the argument? This is totally getting into that other show question, but like, what about
should we should almost get through this question first.
Yeah, I know. But it's still an interesting topic, which
it is. Yeah, and it's gray. It's like it's not black and white. Like I totally see all sides of it.
You also have the opportunity, though, as someone who knows what they've got, right? And you can then make a decision to do as much or as little restoration, maybe resell it and try and find it a good home. Mm-hmm. So it's much like rehoming a puppy, let's say. It's like I get to choose now. So right now it's on Craigslist. I have a choice. I could just let you go free and maybe you'll find a good home. Or me as a more discerning seller, pay for at least my time. I'll maybe do a little bit of cleanup work or whatever on it, make it a little bit nicer, and then move it on to a better home, but make sure that is going to a home of someone who's not just going to flip it.
Right.
That's actually a really good point. You're right. And you're totally right. I like the idea of like rehoming like a puppy. Like, no, we don't want this going into, it's a beagle and it's going to get experimented on. Like, no, actually, that's a really good point. I can totally see something like that.
And maybe this isn't like a kind of thing where it's like, all right, so I fully admit right now, full disclosure, I'm talking about my centipede that I bought that I don't want. I'm absolutely selling. However, this is what's going on in my head about it, is that I want to find a good home for it. I am absolutely restoring that and making sure it is as nice a machine as I could possibly make it before it leaves here, so that it doesn't become a 60-in-1. So there's not even a temptation for someone to flip it, to trash this thing and turn it into a 61, because they'll have no excuse. The monitor's going to be rock solid. The game board's going to be rock solid. Trackball's going to play fucking awesome. It's going to be the nicest centipede that I can make. And I'm going to find a good home for it.
Right. Or you can always trade it for something too.
Hopefully, Leo, that's exactly where I was going next, which is hopefully I can find another, no, not at all, but find another local collector who wants a centipede and maybe has something interesting to trade for me. Or I can put it towards, maybe that centipede won't pay for a full trade, but maybe that's like a trade for that, and then throw in some cash for something that I am interested in.
Right.
So
yeah, but
trade
that's
bait
different.
is
That's
always-
different than just picking up the game and then
100%.
posting the same picture the same day and being like, "Hey, sell this." Yeah,
No,
Right.
and
buy this.
Yeah.
And I think that's another part of this sort of conversation that would be interesting is, would you do that? That's a different kind of person. What I'm saying is that like I couldn't pass up a deal for a game that I don't even really want.
Yeah.
If it's in really nice shape and I can clean it up and make it, make sure it finds its way to a new home and maybe make a little bit of money. I'm not talking about like trying to flip it and make thousands of dollars. I'm just saying make some money for your time on it and find a good home for it and feel good about it.
But I can. But
No,
going
that's a good
back,
point.
going back to the original question, though, I can say this though. I wouldn't want to. The only thing I would like, yeah, I would be if there was like that championship sprint or whatever. Like it needed cosmetic work. Yeah, I would restore it and then I would sell it. But I'm not gonna pick anything. But going back to the original question, I don't want anything like that through the new year. It's winter now. I'm not gonna be doing any cosmetic work. I don't want anything to fucking take up space.
Yeah.
But don't you still have room in your storage unit now? You've got games in your house.
I'm not gonna fuck with that. Nice try, Andrew.
I know. I'm just trying to bring you to the gray side. It's not the dark side.
No, there is definitely gray, but where I draw the line is I'm not going to pick anything up and just sell it, like just because I can make more money.
Yeah.
A pure flip seems kind of dirty to me. But like you look at like house flippers, they don't usually turn around to sell the house. They put in new kitchens and new bathrooms and clean the place up and put some paint on it. So
that seems like, I mean, that what makes it feel less dirty is if it's you're actually putting some effort into it as opposed to, oh, I found, I got this cheap at a garage sale and now I'm going to flip, I'm going to turn around and flip it, and it's not even, the example I give is these guys who will take it's like things are still on the truck. They take a picture and they post it on fucking Facebook.
They never plug it in. They have no idea.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a $2,000. Sorry, real quick in Denver, just as an example of that. There's a $2,000 list price on Craigslist, red Donkey Kong, but it's DK3, and it has a junior bezel.
This sounds like my DK Junior.
And it's to the best of my based on the description, it's like it's never been plugged in. There's no idea like the condition or does it work or are there even boards inside of it or anything like that. And they still want $2,000 for it.
Oh, that's not exactly like mine because I got a deal on mine, but mine
they-
was a Frankenstein.
Yeah, I'm sure they just
It's
bought
like
that
that.
out of a warehouse and just like put it on it's red, so obviously it's worth some money. So I'm gonna ask
rare.
Right.
$1,000 for this completely untested conversion monstrosity.
What about my flip when I got the 4 games and I got my gyrus out of it? Is that frowned upon?
Well, it's.
Dave, we're this is like obviously we're not all on the same page here because we're all having this conversation on different ends of the spectrum. So I don't think you can say you're right or wrong because some of us feel one way, some feel the other. Yeah.
Well, we'd have to rehear the story, Dave. We'd have to hear like the whole story from front to back, and hear about like what the games were and were you planning on doing something,
Yeah, and like to me, if you're like if you buy a bunch of games, recognizing that okay, I'm gonna like you pay less by buying more, so it's kind of like I don't know, getting toilet paper at Costco. Like you expect to get a deal by doing that, right? So the fact that you decide to resell a couple of rolls,
I bought it hoping out of the 4 games. I wanted to keep the gyrus, and that was the only one that was working. It just happened that way. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way.
That's awesome.
But I know the one guy, Donnie, bought 2 of them, and the one guy bought the centipede on working for $175 that I paid $50 for.
Yeah.
But he was, it was an original centipede, and whatever, it was $175.
Yeah, still got a good deal.
That's
a
great.
hell of a deal.
Who is
actually.
Donnie?
Donnie rocks. If he's watching, Donnie.
Who is Donnie?
Yeah, Donnie.
Who's Donnie?
It was
She
so
said.
cool that he
God,
made
I
drinkers
hate
this
that
year.
song.
Smile in a special way.
Yeah.
Short Circuit.
Yeah.
The racist movies ever. That Indian guy's like full white. He's just doing that little Indian accent.
Johnny Five.
That one is
Yeah,
really
he's in Hackers.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
guy, the
Oh,
bad
the
guy in
bad guy.
Hackers.
Yeah.
Yep, riding the skateboard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ride the
Oh,
skateboard. and
okay.
take the
So
disc.
I should let me pass. I'll pass it to Dave because he's got things to say, and I need a drink.
So the question is, what would I'm maxed out
What
on space.
What would you do for $5?
I have 11 games
you like
on
gladiator
Visa
movies?
right now, and I have the Marvel Madness that needs to come down, so that'll be 12. There can be possibility with more if I have to take this workbench area. It's sectioned off in my little basement, so if that does ever come down, I could probably get some more down here. But the games I would, obviously Paperboy, I love. If that, of course, but that would be something that'd have to go to the storage unit because I don't have the room until I took this thing down. That's what, I did a trade with Carrie for Tron, and then we had the Tron here. Then I was in my garage and it had made down the basement, and I'm looking at it, and I played it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not as attached to this as I thought I was going to be. If I had unlimited space, then I want it. And then me and Gak did a trade with Hypersports, and I had a moment of weakness because it was in the garage, and I'm thinking I should. And then my son wound up, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I want this game. I'm not selling it.
I was wondering if you wound up selling it or not.
No. I changed it. I went 360. That was just kind of throwing it out there. And
Maybe 180.
180, yeah.
Yeah, 180. but yeah, it's down here, and I'm like, no, I had two people offer, and I'm like, no, I changed my mind. I'm sorry. This was just because I was worried about my space down here, because I'm like, I don't have any room, and I still, and I didn't want. I'm like, I'll just throw it up there for a second, but then I took it. I had it on Craig. I took it down, and I had solid offers on it. One guy.
Yeah, I saw multiple people comment on it too, and I was like,
and then
do they really know the whole story?
Senegaglia was texting me. That's my freaking Hypersports. I want it back.
So it was his, and then my buddy Tron guy, Dylan, he traded him a Warlord's cocktail for that machine.
Oh, wow.
And this is a long time ago, though.
Yeah.
And
Clearly.
It did not have Hypersports in it. It was only track and field in a Hypersports cabinet. And then I bought it off Dylan, and then I got
AKA Tron guy.
Yes. And then I got Hypersports. I think I had to have the monitor rebuilt because I can't do that shit myself. And then I just had it for a number of years. It went to CAX multiple times. So Hector Fly, his name's all over the scoreboards on both those circuit boards, I think.
Gak, I was thinking about you today about the monitor thing, about how that's something you don't do and you won't touch a soldering iron, because my fucking Logic probe showed up today, and I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I don't want to touch this shit. I don't know what I'm doing here.
What is this?
What do I do with this thing?
Yeah, what the fuck is
Send
this?
in the Logic probe.
Yeah.
You want to say Sark's line.
That's right.
Bring in the Logic probe.
And Mock Youth posted a picture from Tron.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Keith said lodging probe, and that's the first thing I think of.
Lodging. Logic.
Bring in the Logic probe.
The funny thing, Steve, the funny thing about that image is that I posted that on a cloth. Someone was talking about Logic probe. I posted that on there, and I got repped for it.
I didn't even realize in the movie that actually is sort of a Logic probe.
It is.
Right?
Yeah, it is a two-pronged thing that shoots towards the wall.
Yeah. I'm like, whoa, I don't even remember. I know the line in the movie, but I don't remember the actual act of doing it.
Yeah, the device they res up in the room.
By the way, Dave, I'm sorry.
On a wall, which is weird. But
More power.
Yeah.
Dave, I'm sorry I passed it off to you. I realized when I went to the kitchen to make myself a drink right after I'm like, all right, Dave, answer the question. I totally pulled a John Jacobson. Asking one of the hosts a question and then walking away.
I can't hear. I'm sure Dave's got a lot to say about this, so I'll talk to you guys in a minute.
It's like this.
I have to go pee. play
Fat, what
something.
games
Yeah.
did you get this weekend? And he goes,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Tiger.
Exactly.
That's what
It totally hit me. I'm like, oh fuck! I just pulled a John.
"What'd you say? What? I just took a shit."
I was just peeing. Yeah.
All right. So did you guys see on Twitter where Joe? It was on my birthday actually. Where
Happy
Joe,
birthday!
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Belated
like-
a bit.
Hey.
2 weeks ago, but yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Oh, Monday birthdays are the best too.
It'll be a drunken Grinker's birthday. Happy birthday!
I pictured it. I
Eat
totally
your
was
black
there.
cake.
Anyway,
We're not ones to judge. Yeah.
yeah, Twitter.
So Joe posted up on Twitter that he to both Sean and John to maybe do a reunion.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw
Well,
that.
did you see the next week he posted a
Circle jerk.
an AO Forever with Rising
Yeah.
Phoenix? Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was separate. Yeah.
Huh, I didn't see those.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
put up or shut up. That's what I say.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Don't even
it's
talk
what-
about it. Just fucking do it, or just
I
zip your
think
pie hole.
John's
Yep.
immediate response to it was, "Who is this?" So
Nice.
Do I know you?
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
Will it ever happen again? I mean, I give it a thumbs up.
Oh yeah, it would be
I liked
awesome.
it. I did not
It would
retweet
be.
it.
It just feels like teases.
Yeah.
Then we could quit this show.
Or we could
We could
go back
stop.
on after their show is over with.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Like we used to.
Our show length would go from being what it is now to like half an hour.
Yeah.
we would do a YouTube appropriate 15-minute podcast.
That's where the show was born from, though. Is we would do the show after that show was over, so we could talk.
Yeah, and then
about
I
the
would
show
use
and
all
other
of my
stuff.
PTO and sick time on what.
The job you hated.
That's true.
Total ripoff
Yeah.
title that Brad came up with for the show was The
Talking
Talking
Outsiders.
Outsiders. Yeah.
Well, it was
Which
sort
is
of
a-
like The Talking Dead.
it was all about The Talking Dead. It was exactly
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I see.
And we
Yeah.
would get together after the show and talk about the show.
It's
and
not
talk
the
about our
show.
shit.
It's just to talk about the show and other stuff. Yeah.
The fucking roots, man.
Then when they quit their show, then we changed our name, Arcade Hangout.
Actually, we changed it well before that, but yeah.
Did we? Okay.
Well, yeah, because John didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
We got to talk.
Sorry, John.
We got talking.
Sorry, John.
Hey, I'm still a fan. I was listening to episode 4 today. I'm not gonna lie.
Aw, nice. No, it's a great show.
Wait,
That's-
wait, of our
Yeah,
show? Of our show?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
no,
so
yeah.
yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nobody goes
You mean-
back and watches episode 4 of our shit.
No, the world's longest running
No, their first
Continuously
10
running-
were the best.
arcade video podcast on YouTube with 200%
But
more girls.
we fell into the same trap though with our early shows. They went on for like 5 hours, and we just got hammered, and we learned pretty quickly. And that's how theirs were too. It was like they did like
We might have
like-
learned kind of slowly.
It took us a couple
But-
years to figure that out.
we're not maybe not the brightest group.
I
we still have
never
our
figured
moments.
it out. I got Domino's coming in 10 minutes.
Hey, I have a hotel cocktail waiting for me. I
Nice.
went to the bar before I came up here.
Yeah, well, what happened to the umbrella drink?
Oh, I drank that. Duh, that was at the bar.
Oh, you got
And just-
some to go.
And then then I got a martini to go.
Oh,
Yeah, I like how
Nice.
we could see your blouse in the mirror behind the picture you took.
Oh,
He's wearing black and white today.
oh, that's funny. Yep, I am. Polka
Hey,
dots.
I'm flying to Europe and like pretty soon. I should just download episode 1 and 2, and this when I've done listening to it, I'm getting off the plane.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, there you go.
Pretty much.
Or you can listen to
Flight.
Jim's best of, and that would pretty
Oh,
much.
that's right. Yeah,
You have a
Flight
best
too.
of on our show, Jim?
Yeah, he
Oh,
was
not-
referring
not
to
ours.
Hangout.
Nobody
Of Hangout.
will ever. do a
there's no
best
such
of
Oh,
thing
this
as a
show.
best of our show.
Yeah.
I know there isn't best of anything.
It's just
Best of the worst.
yeah, not as bad as the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should have like the guests that have come on, like the one timers
Oh, Jesus.
that came on.
Let's
and never
ask
came
let's
back.
ask all of our fans
helicopter
to make,
Jesus.
to make all,
That
all
was
of
funny
3
shit.
of our fans to make a best of. I'm sorry,
Wait,
by the way.
time that,
That was a fucking painstaking process. I'm just amazed I even fucking finished it.
Yeah. We could put the times that Andrew yelled at Chance, or the time Andrew yelled at
Jesus.
who was the other guy yelled at for slapping dicks out of his mouth?
Oh yeah,
The Navy guy.
Navy
Ryan.
guy, yeah.
Wait, what happened? I'm lost.
There was
it was
Ryan,
not,
I think was his name.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah, it was. We don't want to revisit that.
We hurt his
He was
feelings
short-
too.
He was
Felt bad about
short-lived,
that.
We did. We actually made up on Facebook. It's cool.
Did you? Okay.
Made up or made out?
You mentioned Chance.
It could be one and the same.
You mentioned
We
Chance.
made up with my dick in his mouth. It was great.
Win-win.
No teeth.
But I'm bumped.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
only 9:30 and we're already talking like
Here is
I
gift
woke
for
up and
you.
my
It's
butthole
chocolate penis. Very tasty and delicious.
What the fuck is that from?
Oh my god.
Not again. They have to see it, Carrie. I think at some point I need to post like a link or something so they understand.
Something. Yeah.
One of the dubs the guys did for these guys did for the Karate Kid movies, the
I
original.
watched it. That's why I've heard that.
Yeah.
You said it, and that's,
It's like we need to do that. Yeah, one of our get-togethers and just
Just watch them all and
just watch a bunch of them at least. Yeah, because it's a couple hours worth of stuff.
Well, no, it's not that long.
No, not that long. Okay.
Because they're just
we
little
watched a
clips.
bunch of them at
Yeah.
Brofest.
Yeah.
On the beach at Nassau.
Yeah.
God, that shit's funny though.
Totally.
Did everybody go with the question?
Mm.
I don't think so.
Last I passed it was to Dave, and so
yeah,
I think,
and I didn't. The
He-
short answer would be pole position would kind of be the only upright because I don't have a space for a cockpit.
So you're gonna
Or-
try to squeeze
right.
a pole position in there before 2019.
Well, no, if it came around, that's because I got rid of super off road. I don't have the driver and pole
You
position.
gotta have something with a wheel on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my collection is very classic. Like they're the most popular, and I like it that way because I did, Frogger, Operation Wolf, Frogger, Fire Escape, Hyper Sports, Punch Out, Donkey Kong, and then the Asteroids.
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 Got asteroids?
Has that ever been said? Asteroids.
Show title.
Yeah.
Got asteroids?
I don't even know how to spell asteroids.
that's P-E-E.
That was me scanning between asteroids and centipede. It became one game. Asteroids.
Asteroids.
'Cause they're not-
Candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker.
But that's it. I'm gonna pass it. Who hasn't gone?
I haven't
Andrew?
gone. Yeah, Andrew.
Wait, well,
myself.
Leo. Sooner or later, I want to see
Your
your
ball.
freaking your games. I want to see Fire Escape. I want to see.
I want to see under your balls.
He's a big, strapping, bulging man.
I'll show you at Mancation. Don't worry, we'll stay in the same room.
Oh, no,
I'll be peeing on you at the time. But
Oh,
Clear,
God.
everyone's drinking tonight. This is
McLovin's your permanent roommate now, and his little pullout.
Aw.
No, I don't know. That's check guy. If I have to.
I'm drinking
Mike
Colette,
McLovin.
Andrew.
Oh, nice. You like that one?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that one. That's a good drinking session beer.
good at
So,
I'm liking it.
farmhouse style.
But
Yeah.
yes, Dave, I owe you a
Very
video
earthy.
of.
of
Well,
his
everybody,
balls.
they probably want to see the BlkDog McCree. I've never even seen
Or Mad Dog
this is-
McCree.
Mad Dog,
Black
Dog.
Dog.
Asteroids. I don't know.
John Jacobson's a villain in there.
Yep.
That's a good
He's
one.
the
Yeah, Black
he's
Dog.
the prospector that shows up at the beginning.
Did I say
Oh,
Black
he's a-
Dog? That's funny.
You did.
All right.
Yeah, Black Dog
I didn't
McCree.
get the. I didn't even get the.
Yeah, it took me a second too. Yeah.
Hey, you
That was
not
good.
from around here, stranger.
Stranger.
Hey guys, we're in.
But look out for Mad Dog and his gang of
Hey guys, we're in the gold chair.
All right, Dave, pass it.
Leo.
So
That was a terrible bell there.
I know. Sorry. I blame the beer. I blame the Colette.
since I'm just kind of starting off my collection, there's a lot that I would really want. But when we were for San Diego, like a machine that was like Mock's main machine, for lack of a better word, if something like that came up, or just something that had a lot of games on one machine, would be something that I would like, just to kind of get like a good amount of games out there. And I thought the one that Mock has was really, really nice, but that's just me. For like an individual game, keep saying WWF WrestleFest was one of my all-time favorites as a kid. And
that's a great game, actually.
Yeah, especially the
Hulkster lines up on the top rope.
It had
that's a game at work. A guy, that's all he wants. He says, "I want a WrestleFest."
Really?
Did that actually come in a dedicated cabinet though?
Yeah, because it's a 4-player one. Yeah, absolutely.
It is, but
it has the wrestlers' pictures on the side there. Yeah, there's one up in Salisbury, like about probably in an hour,
the
hour plus from me. Exactly. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking too.
in an arcade, Joe's Playland. It's right by the water. It's kind of nice, but it's got a dedicated and it's got all like the wrestlers' pictures face on the left hand side, and the right hand side is against the wall, so I can't really see what's on the right hand side. But I'm assuming it's dedicated on that
penis.
side. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'll put that against the wall. Yeah.
Bunch of graffiti. Exactly. But yeah, that'd be something I really like to see. I almost Dave. Like all my games, Dave pointed me out when one was for sale in Rhode Island. I mean, sorry, not Rhode Island, New York. But I think it was sold by the time I had reached out to the guy.
York Island.
Wait,
the Rastan?
No, WrestleFest.
What the fuck?
Oh, okay.
I know how you got Rastan for what I was talking about, but okay.
Rastan Fest.
You got rasteroids?
I mean, yeah.
What was my?
That was Ass-ta-pede.
Asteroids.
BlkDog, McCree.
There's some good ones.
I've already updated the show title, so yeah.
Asteroids.
We got BlkDog, McCree, and Ass-ta-pede.
BlkDog, McCree. Oh shit! It's like instead of pulling a gun, he pulls a thumb ring. It's like a special weapon.
Just a thumb sticking out in front of you.
Gas station eggs. It's just gas station eggs. He's firing at people.
Oh shit!
Oh,
God.
Hey, dog.
Yeah.
I gotta get a beer.
He just slaps people in the nuts. That's his finishing move. Just taps you in the nuts.
The
He tries to distract you by shaking his wobbly table with the popper. That's part of his self-defense mechanism.
Touch my sack. The musical edition.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably head out a little bit, so I'm going to pass it on to Andrew since I don't think he's gone. Right?
I think officially I had the last person go, right?
You always have to have the final word.
Yeah.
Final thing.
I mean, you guys know I've been on the hunt for Super Sprint. I mean, that would be the one that would be like, I absolutely have to have that game at some point.
You know, XD probably has like 3 of them, right?
I'm surprised you don't have one already.
Brad has like 12 of them.
It's like he could have like a little star of them like around.
Yeah, right.
Right, because they would all fit like perfectly in a like little like a Trivial Pursuit puzzle like piece, like going around the edges. Yeah, but so I mean that's the one game that I'm on the perpetual hunt for.
I mean, the very first time I met Andrew, he was showing me Super Sprint and showing me how much he likes it, and then how he spins it and almost whacks his balls every time.
Yeah. Oh, no, I absolutely punched myself in the dick.
That's
a bunch of
my
times.
favorite part of the game.
I've learned
Other than that, I love it.
you know, it's like you ever sit down and like crush your balls?
No, actually.
That was I like, Gary.
Right. There's a nervous.
Never has.
There's a nervous nod
never.
from every guy on the show right now. They're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's like that, except you're playing a game and it's like you're just not used to it and you just don't think about it and you sit down and like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then you're not allowed socially to talk about this. We can't talk about sitting on our balls. That's not.
Wow, I'm privy to something here.
Like conversation. So this is not that kind of conversation. So we're having it real quick. So
you wouldn't
like
see that in a Seinfeld episode. You know, you ever sit on your balls? You ever notice how guys sit on their balls?
Just every once in a while. It's not all the time, but there's certain times you sit down, you get just the right angle on something, and
Yeah.
and from what I understand, it gets worse as you get older
Yeah.
They hang lower.
because they start.
Do your
Yeah.
balls hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Okay. Time in
Instead
a
of
bow.
sitting on them, you almost stand on them.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Right. So anyway, so it's much like that. As a younger person, I don't remember ever punching myself in the balls playing Super Sprint, but absolutely as an adult, I've experienced that now. So yeah, there's a new stance I've adopted for it, and it works just fine. So I want the game.
Nice.
So Super Sprint. So aside from our flipping conversation, where you know I couldn't say no to an incredible deal on a game that I could make sure it gets into the right hands, and you know maybe I could do a little bit of work on it. I won't say no to something like that, but Super Sprint's the one game on my list.
Cool. I'm actually gonna call it a night. It's getting late. East
All right,
Coast.
Leo.
Talk to y'all next week.
Alrighty.
All right.
All right.
Good seeing you,
Buddy,
Leo.
later. Thanks for having me.
Toodaloo.
Absolutely.
Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen.
That's like an
Ciao.
11 or 12 for him.
Ding dong day.
11:30.
10:30.
12:30
Yeah,
for
12:30. Yeah.
12:30. Yeah.
That's late for a work
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris, I think a couple of us were talking about this since we're done with the question now.
Yep.
I want to know, have you ever described to someone else or said to someone else, Andrew, a.k.a. 34K, my buddy, something like, you know, that,
Ah.
have you ever done that for any of us?
Yeah.
Nope.
I think so.
All right.
Well,
You had to really think about that one.
Flop a lot, you know, like.
Well, because you're talking to a
like-
different group of friends and, you know.
Yeah.
I usually say my buddy in Denver. Actually, when I when I talk to you about you to my coworkers, I'm like, yeah, my buddy. I might even say Andrew.
Yeah.
Or I'll say my buddy in Denver his name's Andrew. Like I don't say 34K to them because they would be
Because
like,
they
what?
wouldn't get that, yeah.
Yeah. But as far as other arcade people, I mean, you guys. I talk to you guys. I hardly talk to anybody else, honestly. So
I talk to you guys more than my wife.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Actually,
Wait, are you crying?
honestly, actually, I do believe I do that with Tubular Gearhead, aka Chris, and Dylan, aka Tron Guy. Yeah. That I flip flop between Andrew, my buddy Andrew, 34K or whatever. Yeah.
I'm just curious because it's like that's become like the sort of
Right.
when you talk about this, so wondering if that.
I find myself doing it when I'm talking about Minnesota collectors to like Carrie and stuff, and we'll start laughing because of GAC.
Right. We think of you. We think of you, Chris.
Yeah.
But like today when I was picking up like this joystick stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'm swinging by Tom's place, you know, Tom Nutter Pac-Man on Clove.
Yeah.
So it's
Your
kind
buddy.
of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. It's kind of funny. Yeah, today marked the shortest visit I've ever been out there for. Probably because it's cold as balls out, like it's in the teens.
Ooh.
And he has a heated garage. It is.
You won't sit on those balls.
No. If you do, they'll shatter. So, like,
you would notice it for a while until they start to defrost. And you're like,
yeah, I was
"Ow,
going
my
over there
balls."
for like 20 minutes. Normally I have to block out because he gives me usually pretty good deals on parts and stuff. Because he used to work for an operator for like 30 years. And so he's always got a ton of parts and stuff. But normally like the kind of what I call the price of a good deal is he likes to chat. So I'm usually there for anywhere between half an hour to an hour, even if I'm just buying like a $10 part or something from him. And today I was there for like 20 minutes and I'm like, wow, that went really fast. That was crazy. I still have time. I can get alcohol at the store before the show.
Yeah, you a lot like extra time every time you go to them, right? Because of the
all the time. Yeah, I had to. I told Carrie, I'm like, I was going over there to pick up one of these red spacers for my Gap Plus joystick. It's like one of those midway, like a Pac-Man style joystick. And he had like 6 of these new old stock, and he was like, $6 or whatever. I usually throw him a couple extra bucks, and
give me 6 of those spacers and a couple of joysticks.
Yeah, 2 of those, 6 of those. And well, he also had an untested and it's not working, but he had another PCB that I picked up, another Galaga 3 Gap Plus board that I can use for parts, because that he gave to me for a relatively good deal. But the so he's always got stuff over there, and he's always he's like, hey, do you need this or do you need this? And he's always got stuff that he's trying to sell, and he's pretty active on Clav, but not really with events. And so I've been trying to get him to go to Grinkers, hopefully next year. He wanted to go this year, but it didn't work out. But yeah, so I picked up that board too, and that way because this PCB is known, like with the graphics and stuff from my research, it's got a lot of custom chips on it, and there's like a couple of custom chips, I guess, that drive the graphics. And so if you have graphics problems, a lot of times it stems from like one of those custom chips. So it was a good buy, even though the board doesn't work. I tried firing it up, and it didn't really. I got a bunch of garbage on the screen, and there's a couple, and it's missing one chip. But I'm like, well, this will be good, because if it turns out that I need a new custom chip, I can pull something off here. So we'll see. But yeah, I could spend like an hour in that guy's garage though, because he's just got boxes and boxes of stuff everywhere, boards, you name it, like all kinds of, and a lot of stuff. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot I had this, and it's gonna, new old stock parts and all kinds of shit. So usually he's one of the first people I send a message to if I'm looking for something. So anyhow,
cool. I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah,
me too. And my joystick showed up today, and it's so I got from Milestar. So I got my it was funny because like Tom sold me that spacer, but he's like he had like a dozen of these restrictor plates. He had like so much
Hold up a little higher.
Parts.
Hold up a little higher, Jim, because you're getting cut off by the people. At least for me.
Yeah, me too.
So this is not a Pac-Man joystick, because this is actually an 8-way. So these are there are only a few games that had these. There's a lot of controversy about whether Journey used an 8-way or a 4-way. Some of the Minnesota Adam, from the other show, asked me to post a picture of the bottom, because he's got a Journey that he's restoring. But I didn't know that there's only a handful of games. There was Gap Plus, I think Busconian, what's Bump and Jump, I think. There's only a few games, and maybe Journey, that there's kind of that controversy. But instead of a diamond shape on the bottom, it's a full square. But these aren't as common, but that's what came with these. So I wanted to get one of these, and Milestar had one. And it's probably the cheapest thing I've ever bought. I was expecting, because normally he's selling new old stock stuff, and he asks for, but this was a used. It's not a new old stock, clearly. So I thought $80 shipped wasn't a bad. I mean, these are heavy too.
Yeah,
but
you can't find
all things considered, it's a complete joystick.
Yeah.
It's a complete joystick, and there's no other feeling. You can't. This does not feel like a Wicco joystick.
No, it does not.
The grommet is a lot. What's the word? Not stiff, not loose, but it doesn't take as much resistance. If you've played Pac-Man and you played it with like a micro switch, like the new games like the Reunion and stuff with the micro switch, it doesn't feel right. So that's huge. So I didn't think that was a bad buy.
Yeah, and that's such an important. I mean, that's critical. That is the gameplay.
And those aren't
joystick.
common. Yeah, all by themselves, I should say.
No, it's like the joystick that came on the Namco cabinet, like that micro switch joystick with the little skinny stalk. It's shitty as fuck.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why I have a repo Ms. Pac-Man control panel and an actual original Ms. Pac joystick.
Nice. Yeah.
So I still have
So that cabinet and actual Ms. Pac control panel will fit it.
Yeah.
The newer reunion cabinet.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. It's just a standard Namco style control panel.
Huh.
With the same three latch
So,
points.
Jimbo, is there an actual manufacturer of that joystick?
Yeah, it's a Midway.
So Midway made their own joysticks.
They made their own. Yeah, it's a Bally Midway joystick.
Huh.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I figured it would have been, if not Wico or whatever, somebody,
I think if you do enough digging, I think like it's the reason why I call it a Bally Midway because they only came with Bally Midway games. Like that, you can't find this joystick didn't come with any other game. But I think if I may have come across something where if you dig deep enough, like Wico probably manufactured it and sold it to Bally Midway, and then they, but that style is it's Bally Midway. Like,
interesting. Like, actually, so the base that looks the same as a Tron.
Yeah,
which is also
and that's Midway.
It's also an 8-way.
Midway, yeah,
exactly. Yep. And it's also an 8-way.
Well, and Tom, it's funny because when I was at Tom's and he had all his restrictor plates, he's like, I'm not sure where this came off of, but I think it was a Tron, and it was the exact same. It was the exact same, but it had the huge shaft for the.
That's what she said.
Yeah, it was just massive. No, but I'd never actually seen one of those Tron joysticks disassembled to where you could just see. Yeah, it's monstrous.
I mean, I can go pull. I've actually got an empty control panel if you want to see it, but it's the same thing where it's a multi-layer.
Yeah.
Of the metal. So
and this is why. So originally, part of my thought was, and you can take part of it off because it's got screws here to bring the one wafer or whatever off. But the problem is that you can't just I was thinking Pac-Man joysticks are so common. Why don't I just buy one of those and then try to mod this thing? But it's you're talking about metal here.
Yeah.
My backup plan. Shape. Yeah, my backup plan was to take a drill and make a circular hole in there.
That still wouldn't have felt right though. Probably.
No.
Probably not.
Square.
Yeah.
No. So.
Yeah. Do you guys want to see the Tron? I mean, I can pull that if I can see it.
Oh, the
if you're curious, if you want to see that, because it's just a blank control panel that's sitting up there.
Nah.
It's the same. Really, it looks the same. The difference is that they basically all they've done is they replaced the the long shaft that can hold the Tron joystick.
Yeah.
So it's probably the same thing as like a Satan's Hollow, the same kind of feel. Although Satan's Hollow is only a 2-way, right?
I don't know.
Yes. Left, right. Okay. Yep.
So it's like imagine like a Galaga.
Yep.
Right.
And then there's Solar Fox, which is 4-way.
Right. But same idea though. It's that same sandwich design of the way they built that joystick up in multiple layers.
It feels completely different. Yeah. Way different.
And again, my Ms. Pac is the same way. So it's the same way.
Yep. That's how mine is too. Yeah. It's just got a diamond shape for the 4-way instead of a square.
Just the restrictor is different.
Yep. But it's all built in, so it's not an easy change. It's like, oh fuck. Yeah. And good luck finding just that base part, all by itself. Like who's gonna have that? Yeah.
So it makes some sense that maybe some journeys also had.
Yeah, that's why.
Were they just taking shit off the shelf, and it's like whether it was a 4-way or an 8-way, and whatever was there. I don't know.
I mean, because you get the guys on there, they're like, "Oh, this has to be an 8-way because I need diagonals in it." Remember all that controversy? Like, there's threads and threads of it. I was like, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah.
Where people are like,
right, but it doesn't have the same problems that like Donkey Kong or Pac-Man or Ms. Pac-Man have, where it's like if you have an 8-way, it actually fucks up your game.
Yeah, you can't play that game.
It's impossible to play on an 8-way. Yeah. You have to bring it back to center to turn.
The biggest one that threw me off was my Rolling Thunder, which Drinkers has now. That's actually a 4-way joystick, and it does not seem like it should be because he's like jumping up and down levels.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he never
Moving
jumps
around.
diagonals.
Oh,
No, he
interesting.
doesn't.
Yeah,
And
it's always
so
up and down. It's like bad
it's-
dudes.
That's
They it was like one of the early JAMA. So Rolling
Guts.
Thunder. Can you guys
Sorry.
hear the Star Wars going?
Yeah,
Barely.
but just
I try to
it's
mute
bad.
it.
It's mild. It's mild. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
you're
it.
good. Keep talking.
So the
problem
Rolling
is Gemini.
Yeah.
Can you
not
hear
Star
our
Wars.
attract mode? This is
Yeah.
my attract mode. Ah!
yeah.
Sorry, I do want to hear your story.
So my Rolling Thunder,
I'm attracted.
I think it was like one of the early games that was kind of like it was kind of like making the transition to being JAMA. So it's like it wasn't quite JAMA, or they used an adapter that made it JAMA. It was something like that with Rolling Thunder. So, but I believe my harness was JAMA. And
No, you are, but what am I?
and I wanted to be able to play Rastan and Toki in my Rolling Thunder. And so I had the boards, and I had an Atari joystick that looks just like the Rolling Thunder, but it's an 8-way. So I put the 8-way stick in to play those games, but then I went to play Rolling Thunder, and I'm like, it's just awful. You cannot play Rolling Thunder with an 8-way stick.
Wow.
It's really weird. You don't think about it, but in order to jump up and down the levels, if it doesn't quite recognize and you're at an angle, it just wants to move to the right instead of jump up.
It's like
yeah.
whichever switch you hit. It's like whichever switch it hits first, it stays on that switch.
That's like trying to play Burger Time with an 8
Yes,
direction.
and Miss Pac-Man,
Can't get off the
Donkey
ladders.
Kong, all those,
Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, yeah, they all have the same problems.
Yeah.
But
And the problem
that's
is
the
it
one
registers
game,
the first one you're holding, and if you don't let go of that switch completely, the game can't register the new one.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hold that new input. So if you're still with that 8-way, still slightly touching right, when you're trying to
That's
go up,
it. It won't go.
you're still going right.
And then there was
until
I don't know if you guys remember, Mock, you probably know, there was like a big controversy about Dragon's Lair too. If it's supposed to be
that's
the
right.
original Dragon's Lair, is it supposed to be 4-way or 8-way? And
It's 4. It should be 4.
Supposedly from the factory they are 8-way, or in the manual it calls out an 8-way, but the game does not need an 8-way. It's something like that.
Yeah, it runs. I mean, the game controls as far as the moves are all 4-way. There's no diagonals. Like, remember John Jacobson talking about? I think it's diagonal in this
No,
part.
there's
Like, no,
there's definitely
there's
not.
no diagonal moves in the game at all. So
I mean, Mock knows better, but I
And,
also
and then
agree.
the other one I would have argued
Well, you've
until
beaten
my
it,
face
right?
turned blue
I have
was Zookeeper. I was like, I would have sworn up and down it's a 4-way stick game. I'm like, you could not play this with an 8-way stick, and then somebody posted in the manual, there's like a link to the manual, and it's an actual 8-way stick that's supposed to play it. I'm like, dang.
Well, but there's that thing where you do in the corners where it's like you kind of have to roll through the corners.
to roll around the corners when you're,
And there's times when you have to like jog back and forth around the corners too. So it does make a certain amount of sense that.
Yeah. Now that, once I started to think about it, but my first thought was like, everything is all just, right angles.
It's a square or a rectangle.
Yeah. So, that's a trip.
Oh, I've got a quick question. Let me grab this.
Has everybody answered the question tonight? I think we did, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Before Dave leaves, are you going to show something, Jim?
Oh, no. Go ahead. I
just want to show something to Dave real quick before he leaves. Can you present me for like a minute, Andrew?
You got it, dude.
He's got to get himself flaccid.
You got it, dude.
Yeah, let me get it ready.
Yes, sir, Captain.
Okay.
Whoa. And Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Shout out to Stan Lee, right?
Hey,
that was my Stan Lee joke for the week.
Yes.
Nicely done.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, I just
In
watched. I
3D.
haven't finished Ready Player One. I watched about half of it, and I had a. Yeah,
that's a fun movie. It's not as good as the book, but it's fun.
Yeah.
You know what? And it's funny it's not as good as the book. Is Donnie Graham was reading this book from coming back from Grakers and finished it and says, "Take it." You know,
Oh,
it made me Ready Player One the book.
Nice.
Dude, read
Yeah.
it.
It's a really good book.
Fun.
It's a really
There's
good
a lot
book,
of
yeah.
arcade stuff in the book
But
that
there's a
wasn't
lot
in
of
the movie.
words in here. There's
Yeah.
a
There's a lot of
Dude,
words.
Such a
Not
fast.
a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
What the hell?
They reference games that you're like, really? I can't believe they're talking about this video game, but they're doing it.
Well, I'm glad
It's fun.
I was going to watch it with my wife, and she would not have. I didn't know anything about it. I knew nothing. Then I start watching. I'm like, oh no, she wouldn't have liked this. This is
Nah.
no.
Same with my wife. She'd be like, "Oh, this sucks."
Yeah.
Yeah. I found it very. I really liked like the shining scenes. I thought-
That was
Oh,
the
yeah,
most
that was
amazing
great.
part of that movie.
Yeah, that was really
Yeah.
well done.
I was like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
really, really well done.
All right, Dave. So I don't have to be presented anymore.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, so Dave, what is this from? I just got this.
Wait, you're still.
From my
I'm
arcade
going
room.
to present
Yes.
Oh, it's presented.
Wow.
I know. And
you. I know what that
movie.
is.
Yes.
Is
I
that
love
was
the
that?
movie.
Is this heavy metal?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's an
Yeah.
actual production cell. This is actually used in the movie itself.
Wow. Oh, that's
My God.
cool.
Yeah.
So it's
that's
one of the
awesome.
frames when they're having the final battle at the end.
Yeah, that's fucking cool as shit,
You
dude.
probably paid.
Nice Guinness.
Yeah.
I know.
yeah,
So it's
exactly.
rare to get a cell that has like both characters. And usually it's just the girl or the barbarian guy, but
So I
have
recognize
both.
the girl, but who's the dude in that?
He's the
fight
guy
scene
she
there?
fights at the very end.
Yeah.
He like
Okay.
whips her and tortures her, and then she gets her revenge and fights him.
Okay.
But also it came with the line art of the artist that drew it. So I have the paperwork of the line art of Tarna.
Can we see the line art?
It's in the frame.
Oh, shit.
I put it in there just so it would stay with
Yeah,
it. You know?
Yeah.
It's hermetically sealed inside.
I have a picture of it on my
Yeah,
phone.
yeah,
yeah,
the
please.
mason jar and Funkin'
Yeah.
Wagnalls. Yeah.
Steve, why did you ask? Why did you want to show it to me?
Because last week I showed a different picture from Heavy Metal. I don't think you were there anymore. And I'll show it to you. Here, let me go get it real quick.
Excuse me while he whips it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice Guinness.
look at him run.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming back.
Oh, so he bought another one. He bought multiple.
Well, you weren't here this week, I don't think, when I showed this one. Remember that one?
Oh yes, the snorting the cocaine or whatever.
Yeah. So that's another
Oh,
hard
yeah.
one to find.
That's fucking Egon.
So yeah, Harold Ramis
Harold
is the green guy.
Yeah.
I forget who the
Oh
purple guy
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Good
But-
Nyborg.
Yeah, Nyborg. They put cocaine all over the floor and sniff it up.
You got like a
Sure,
machine
like-
that's like pumping
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah, then they trip out. But anyway, it's really hard to find this cell. It took me years. And the guy had
the
it hanging
snout
in
on the
his-
guy on the right looks funny.
Dude, I love the fact that his eyes are up too. You can see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a great cell.
Yeah.
Great. That's
He's
an
got a
amazing
dick
cell.
nose.
Yeah.
It's
But
actually
it's funny
Yeah.
too, they like snorted him out too. They get like a big.
So it's actually 3 cells. One of them is the orange guy in the back. The other one is the purple guy's body, and the third cell is his head. So they animate
really?
things in pieces. So sometimes they want the
Yeah.
body to hold still while the head's moving or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. You
You know
see
what's
that
funny
about
about
animation, like older animation too, where it's like where the stuff is like slightly different colors. It's because they're interacting. There's a background cell,
Yeah.
but then there's
Yeah,
like
the
a foreground
background is
cell.
I just printed up the background. I took it and I cleaned it up from just a Blu-ray rip and just printed that just so there's a background. Because these don't come with backgrounds usually.
Right.
So
Did you get that off eBay or how'd you find that?
I found one on eBay and the others on other collector sites.
Okay.
People just sell stuff, you know.
You
But,
know what's funny is you guys have met my brother. He's been on this once or twice, or some of you. He lives in San
Yeah,
Francisco.
Glenn.
Yeah, and he used to what brought him to San Francisco when he did the move is he worked for the Warner Brothers store, and he was the curator of their animation gallery. And then
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
when they had one, so he used to have that shit all over. I don't know.
Sorry.
It was all over his apartment. God knows how much he paid for that stuff. But
Sorry.
he was
Right.
at that. He was at their flagship Warner Brothers store in downtown San Fran. That's what they paid for his move in like '97 to go out to San Fran. That's what brought him there because he's been in retail. But that was his big thing, and his apartment was all covered in all this animation.
Wow.
Warner Brothers art.
Nudity.
Yeah, that's cool. The one thing you do have to look out for though is that there's a lot of fake cell
Counterfeit.
art. Like Warner Brothers puts out a lot of fake stuff, so you got to make sure it says actual production cell, like it was actually used in the production of like Batman or whatever animated cartoon show or whatever the show is.
Do they have like
sometimes they just make them for to sell, and they're not the ones that were used in the show. So you kind of got to look for that. You know, these are actually hand painted and everything.
And they have like COAs to go with them, or
some of them do.
Yeah.
But like mine, a couple of mine did, but not all of them. So I have another one, Dave, that has Tarna putting her outfit on. I don't know if you remember Heavy Metal very well, but there's a part where she puts all her gear on before she goes out. So I have one where she's getting ready.
The naked ones must be fucking crazy expensive.
The naked ones jump to $1,000 or $2,000, and I won't pay that.
That's like that guy from Mirzak or whatever from help me out. The guy who had all that porno art.
Harry Crumb.
No. I'm talking the
that's.
Have you seen that documentary?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah,
really good documentary.
That guy was very.
I didn't mean to fucking derail your.
No, but what's the arcade documentary? I'm losing my mind. Came out at the same time as King of Kong, Walter Day.
Which one? About what do they talk about?
The Boston. It's an arcade movie. Well, there's not that many.
Well, there's the snake one.
No, first ones.
There's Video Craze. There's the Richie Knuckles one.
No. You know which one I'm talking about? Well, which one am I talking? Chasing Ghosts. Thank you.
Chasing Ghosts.
Chasing Ghosts. Yeah. Okay.
If you guys saw that version where they had that scene where they took it out when he had all that crazy porn art.
Oh yeah. I totally watched that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, which I was watching.
It was weird. Yeah. Awkward.
Like, whoa, what's this? Like, oh my god! Thank God they took this out of there.
Yeah.
This is like, you might as well have the gumball. Woo, woo, woo.
It absolutely was. He was talking about.
Danger.
It's like basically like he like goes to like I think, and I make this wrong, but he goes like Comic Cons and collects like some of like the heavy metal artist type art, but it's like boobies and
like porn art.
It's like basically like porn.
Okay.
That's
not fair. It's not porn.
Sexual.
It's erotic artwork.
Yeah, it's nudity or whatever.
Are you talking about the guy in King of Kong or whatever that collects the
He's in King of Kong
as well.
Yeah. Remember that remember that artwork for Scramble that has that girl, she's holding a pipe, but it looks very phallic. The pipe totally looks like a shaft.
Yeah, it's like a microphone, but it's still
and it has like a head of a mushroom.
Yeah, but it's not just a mushroom.
Sounds like a euphemism for something.
A genus.
It's like a full on, like properly. It's like, it's erotic art.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find a picture of it.
A Scramble, yeah. Go find
Scramble. It was the monitor bezel, wasn't it?
It was a bezel, yeah.
Yeah, the glass bezel.
Yeah, I'll present you.
I remember playing Scramble as a kid, man. It was cool, like the music, like the cabinet, the music. It was hard, but it was like I have memories of playing Scramble, 100%.
So Andrew, what temperature are you at now with your oil heaters?
I'm up to 54.1 degrees right here.
Oh
wait, so you're heating your garage now. You did it.
This time of year. So this time of year I run these oil heaters, the little radiator things. But they have, I have them cranked right now. So they're on like max. I'm paying like $1 a minute right now to heat the garage. But
we're worth it.
But normally I keep these things on an anti-freeze mode, so you can put them basically in standby. And if the temperature drops below like 40 degrees, they kick on just to keep it at 40 degrees in here.
So even when you're not in your garage, they'll kick on.
They will, yes. They're basically it's an automatic thing, and the idea there is basically just to keep the games in the garage above freezing.
Right.
So everything stays not, frozen.
Wow.
Would you ever want to put is it even a possibility to put a separate heating HVAC gas?
Yeah, I mean, I totally could if I wanted to spend that kind of money. to run. I could totally run a gas line out here and run a gas heater or an electric heater out here to do that.
And to
But-
just chill, like that would be your space all year.
I mean, it would be like, I mean, it's fully insulated in here. You guys, I mean, some of you guys have been in the garage, so like the garage door, it's insulated, the walls, the
Steve,
ceiling.
you look
everything
so
is
hot.
insulated.
Yeah. You can understand.
You've looked so hot for the last like 6 or 7 minutes. It's been.
I thought he would be a little bit faster finding the picture, but
Well, I posted in the IRC.
oh, we're just looking for that scramble bezel, but yeah. So it's just about keeping the games from getting too cold.
Yeah. Well, it certainly does not get that cold where I'm at. But
I think I need another beer.
If it drops
I know, right?
Yeah, you do.
60,
Yeah, it's
I'm-
31 degrees outside right now, which is actually pretty okay.
I'm
14.
spoiled.
Oh wait, no.
That's just a
it's,
crazy. Oh Jesus! See,
Oh wait,
that's
no,
crazy.
it's
That's
no, it
crazy
is.
talk.
It is 14 degrees. That is the
It's-
real temperature.
Yeah.
Screw that.
25 degrees warmer in the garage than it is outside.
Yeah.
You can see
Yeah,
the
when-
insulation up here. It's like it's all insulated.
What
Can
we
you guys
do.
help me identify a
Yeah.
box? This was in the bottom of my
Oh.
cabinet, and it
That
doesn't
looks-
fit.
That is a
That looks like a
that looks like
Nintendo.
a cut Nintendo. Yeah.
That's a Nintendo box.
All right, all right.
The handle,
Ah.
the handle on the
This
front.
was
Yeah.
sitting at the very bottom of my cabinet, and it clearly doesn't fit.
Somebody
Like
cut
I looked
the
at
back
Carrie's
corner
cabinet.
off of it though,
Yeah,
because you
that's
can
not-
see the cut marks on the
Yeah,
side.
yeah. Oh yeah. Wow.
So that used to be
Ah.
square,
Yeah.
like a cube.
So-
it was more.
So here's
cube-shaped.
here's
There you go.
no. This is from
Ah.
the red, so it's got the laminate on it from a
Oh,
red
okay.
Donkey Kong.
Ooh.
But it's the same.
Okay.
Showing us your
handle.
box. You're red.
That's so bizarre.
Donkey
How,
Kong
like
box.
yeah.
That totally looks like a Nintendo.
So
But
they
that-
like hacked it to
Right
fit your
there.
your machine or something.
And it still didn't fit in the machine. Like
Really?
it doesn't. It was sitting at the bottom of the cabinet like this, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. So I was curious about that.
Yep.
I actually, Carrie, you need to send me a picture of your coin bucket so that I know which one to order.
Okay, we'll do.
I did
Good
not
word,
think
good-
that's where he was
careful
going
wording.
with that. With that
Right, I know that was that was that was
I
that
said
was
it as-
worded
as
very
innocently
carefully.
as-
Nicely done.
You are not going to say what I think you're going to say, Tim. You're
Yeah.
not gonna say it. You're not saying it.
Yeah,
Nope,
and that was him not saying it.
I'm a gentleman. I'm a gentleman.
Yeah.
yeah, just keep saying that. Just I'm a
Yeah.
gentleman.
Yeah.
I'm a gentleman.
Dave's always there to remind me every Grinkers.
You are a gentleman. You are a gentleman.
This has been a fun show. I'm surprised, and it's only been well, I guess Leo was on earlier, but
You know what's
But
so
yeah,
funny
we haven't-
is I could
not a
stay
full-
up forever and have to go to work in the morning. And I'm stressing because I have to get my kids ready for school in the morning. Like,
Oh.
looking at-
Oh
but
man.
I can go back to bed. I can go back to bed. It's
After
like-
you drop them off,
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
an hour of hell. And then my wife.
you have to sober up enough to drop your kids off at school in the morning.
Yeah.
I know.
God damn it!
The beer just shot into my nostrils. Oh.
Oh,
All right, that was funny. Woo! Ah.
you've cleared,
Yeah.
cleared out that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Cleared any of the smoke out.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's what. See, in California, when things start to get cold, we just light the state on fire, and we just,
Yeah.
Right.
heat ourselves up by it.
How's the air quality where you guys are at?
Oh,
In here,
Well-
it's not bad. If I walk 10 feet out of my house, it's not good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And where I am right now, which is San Diego, it's fine. But at home, it was before I left. It was bad.
yes.
Yeah, really, it's really sad.
It's sad.
Yeah, they've upped the loss of life to the most destructive.
Yeah,
I was
40
talking to
something,
somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, 48 right now, and I was talking to
Yes.
someone who actually who was talking to one of the sheriffs dealing with Paradise, and they're expecting to find lots more.
There's like 200
of-
people missing or something like that.
Right, and I was thinking, oh well, they're just unaccounted, but they're not actually expecting some happy answers from that. Apparently, I didn't realize, but there's a lot of retirees in that area, probably because it's inexpensive, and so
Yeah.
they're actually expecting those numbers to rise very dramatically. It's just
Carrie, did you
awful.
happen to catch Colbert last night?
Yes, I did.
It was good. That was good.
Yeah, he did a very nice job
Yeah.
of addressing the fires.
Carrie, are you by Horton Plaza? Or are you at the airport?
I am in
Downtown?
I'm in a hotel. I'm by Hotel Circle. I'm in a hotel circle. In
All right,
San Diego.
creepers, don't seek her out. No, I was kidding.
Yeah.
I'm in room, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
No!
Yeah.
I was just thinking there's a mall in like where like downtown San Diego, Horton Plaza. It's an open air mall.
Oh,
That's where I saw Titanic, and I wrecked a good pair of shorts with a pretzel cut from Grease from the movies. I was like the last.
Oh, I thought you were saying
She
shit.
showed us
I
a
know.
pretzel.
Yes.
Yeah.
You didn't shart?
Yeah.
Skid marks?
Hort-
Oh no, I didn't know sharding. I just set the pretzel on my jeans and I left.
Oh,
It was
shit.
fucking grease stain when I got out. I was like the last person. I saw Titanic by myself, and I was like, this is a chick movie. What the fuck did I even waste this?
You
movie?
think? Yeah.
I know. I didn't know. I was like,
Well,
ooh,
he went into it thinking Stallone was in it. It's like some action movie.
Yo,
I hope there's some
get off
arm
this
wrestling.
boat.
Yeah. Yo, Apollo, you gotta get off this boat.
We need to get off this boat.
Dave, actually, when I was
Just
here,
down.
when I was in San Diego last month or whenever it was, 6 weeks ago, that I was right by Horton Plaza. I know which. Yep, I know exactly. I parked right by that mall. I had my hotel room was by there. It's a nice. Yeah, it's a happening
Yeah.
able. I'm not in
Yeah,
so much of
yeah.
a happening area right now.
And I remember I went to play cars in Hillcrest, like the gay area. And then that was big. I was in it wasn't the gay poker club, but I remember I took a cab there.
That was a happy old time.
Wait, what was your
And then
excuse?
I
You went
used to-
there
I
to
used
do
take- I
what?
used to take the- play car. Oh, easy.
Fucking
Play
Flintstones.
cards. Huh?
Play a little Hold'em. And then I used to take the train down to
Is that Hold'em?
little Hold'em.
He doesn't know the meaning of the word stop. Yeah.
Hold'em. Oh,
With Donkey Dong Doug.
Yeah.
Gang Big Craig.
Yeah. One Nut Charlie.
Oh, that shit was brilliant.
Yeah, it really was.
Kind of want to watch that again.
Fucking Matt Damon. I mean, my God.
He killed it.
He fucking killed it. Hey, Gak, is that a Pliny glass you got?
It is. I do have a tiny glass.
Look at that. Nice.
It's a nice, tall, big glass for,
Are
filling.
you
For a
just going
big,
over
tall,
that
big man.
kegerator and just like,
Yeah, it still has
I
tons
love
of
it.
foam though. Mock, did you ever have that problem with your kegerator?
Yes,
It's like
I did.
always foamy. I don't know if I need to like turn down the air pressure or
Yeah,
what.
you should have it to 10 psi.
It is the 10, yeah.
And then also,
Ten.
what it helps is if you run,
more.
you got to run one beer off, like to get rid of the foam, and the second beer doesn't have as much foam.
And I've done that.
Oh,
I've
really?
run like 50 beers through that thing.
Oh, really? Usually by the second one, the foam is way less for mine.
It's a little less, but not much.
is that the old school? You just gotta pump it.
No.
There's a CO2. There's a CO2
I want a
canister.
hot dog.
Yeah.
I want a milkshake.
Man,
I want you'll get nothing and like it.
All right.
You remember that
Like a beer,
sad part of the end of the night when you're like pumping the keg at like the party, like in high school and college. It's like
And there's
it's
nothing left.
it's gone. Like we're
Yeah, that
It's
sucks.
kicked. It's kicked.
So this is what
that pisses me off. That pisses me right off.
I paid $5 cover charge. It's empty. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So the setup I got, it actually has dual taps on it.
nice.
But yeah, it's inside here. You can see in here, I got 2 kegs. Those are the 6th barrel, which are 5 gallons each.
Yep.
And then you got a little extra cans
How much?
down there.
How much did those cost each for you?
Oh, it was not cheap.
No, it isn't, right?
And these.
So, and that's what I did. I did the math, and I'm like, it's not cheaper buying kegs.
It's not,
Wow.
right?
It's more
all-
expensive
really-
than buying. I could have bought bottles of beer of the same beer for less per ounce.
Oh.
I got so this. It's a Ballast
That's
Point.
why Dave changed to Bud Light years ago.
Yeah. So
I gotta go
Ballast
piss
Point-
again.
So
We'll wait
the
here.
Ballast Point was
Yeah, you go by yourself.
the
How
Ballast
much
That
Point,
was great timing.
Ballast Point. What else?
the Ballast Point grapefruit sculpin. So that's okay. So it's I think it's around 50 servings of 12 ounces, and it was $130.
Yeah.
And then the other one over here is by Lost Coast. It's called Tangerine Wheat Ale. That one was like around $80. so much less expensive. But still, in the bottle form, they're both cheaper.
Wow.
And then
Oh, hey, I got a Lost Coast here.
Good.
nice. Oh yeah, great white. Yeah, that's
Great
good.
white. Yeah.
Yep.
Give it all she's got, Captain.
That probably came from Mock.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it might have.
But yeah, so and then the other thing, you get your money back, but you have to do a deposit on the actual
Yeah,
do the
keg.
deposit.
$40 each.
Yeah, so at Bevmo they're $40 each.
Yep,
At
yep.
Total Wine they're $30 each.
Don't lose the receipt.
Yes, right. Yeah.
They're taped
Yeah.
to the keg.
He actually
Don't
gave them
forget
to
the
me
cheese.
in this thing here. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
So,
Ah,
I don't know if I
nice.
can see it
Oh,
here.
that's cool.
So that was it was $358 with deposits.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it ain't cheap. And then you got to drink that within a month.
Okay,
Jack.
so no, it's about 6 months it'll last.
What?
So it was 130.
It won't last that
point
long
was
at Gak's
100
house.
Yeah.
It's not going to
Don't
be
worry about
I'm
it.
testing
hoping to
that
have
theory.
it done. Okay, so that's my goal by the end of this year. Is these
New Year's
kegs.
resolution.
Yeah, exactly. So the ballast point was 130, and
Don't
the
let
Lost
indoor
Coast
kegs go bad.
was 74. And then they each had a $40 deposit. So I get 80 of that back, of that 358 or whatever.
But still, like 270 for.
Yeah.
That's a lot of beer.
It is. Yeah. I don't even know how much we had that Halloween weekend. I was doing my best to go through it. But
Like I had the disposable cups there.
I absolutely, yeah, exactly, the disposables there. Yeah. I
They're not big
absolutely outdrank anybody
Solo
else that
cups.
was here, but that's all good.
Really?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna sell mine. It
What?
just costs too much. It costs too much to buy the kegs. And
It's the
and I gotta-
novelty of it, I think.
It's fun, but
And then I made my own little 3D printed backlit. It's hard. Let me turn off the light out here.
I thought those looked
those
are- you
backlit.
can see
Okay, that's
that.
cool.
So that's actually an EL panel. It's not that bright right now,
Mhm.
but
Like
I found
Neo
that
Geo.
on Amazon. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's self-contained. Let's see here. Turn the light back on. So in the back here, there's like a little button I can access, and but that'll just it'll. Oops, I just tapped the keg a little bit. There we. Oh,
You're
You just
pouring
wasted
some
$1.
very expensive beer. Yeah.
now it's off. Yeah, exactly.
Dollar just squirt it out.
So the idea here was that this would be brighter. It's all self-contained with batteries, and then I can just swap out the artwork to match the
Or
beer
whatever
that I'm
you get.
topping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Super cool.
it is kind of
Yeah.
a fun little custom, 3D printed housing.
I like
or whatever.
that.
And
Yeah.
there's like
Yeah.
a whole culture too about like tap handles. Like
Yes.
collecting
Mhm.
those things.
Exactly.
I have a
Yes.
couple. Yeah.
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 I have a tiki one, and I have one that's Bud Light, like Dave likes. Oh, Dave's
Okay.
not here.
Mine.
And I
He's not
So
even-
and
the
I also
original one I
have
got-
a shock top one, which has
Okay.
a cool little.
yeah, the
Yeah,
shock
those
top
are
ones are always
cool.
crazy. Yeah.
I like
sure.
the funny little character on the top of
Yeah,
shock
for
top.
sure.
So I got that.
So
Cock
I
top.
got this from a coworker, the whole setup for like $50, and it just had a single tap on it, and it was really dirty. He had it for like maybe 8 years. He bought it brand new about 8 years ago. The whole
Yeah.
system was really dirty, so I just said, screw it. I'm just gonna buy the new dual tap and new lines, so it's all clean and fresh.
Yeah.
And then
That's
you
a
got
good
the
move.
little metal grate down here, so
Mhm.
it's more of a novelty thing. I think the more beneficial thing, if as a craft beer drinker, if I can hook up with a local brewery and get their kegs.
We'll talk about it on the show.
Yeah,
Give me
yeah,
a
there you go.
discount.
yeah.
What we need
exactly.
is a sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, sponsored beer. How
Those
great.
are the ones that are actually cheaper. Like if I go to a local brewery and buy their keg, it's actually cheaper that
From
way
them,
than in
yeah.
because they only do like the 16-ounce cans are like $4 each. And so if you buy the keg form, it's more like $3 each or something for a 16-ounce can.
Right.
It's still expensive, but it's cheaper than buying their.
You
can
need like a
format.
subscription service where you're getting a keg every
Like
2
like
months.
Columbia Records.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
Records.
Kegerator.
And like, if you don't like the beer, you can send it back.
Exactly.
So
Did you guys ever do that shit?
Yes, I hated that shit. Every month I'd be, fuck,
Yep.
I don't want this.
All right, so
yeah.
and I'm sorry, Chris. I sort of real quick tell
Go
this
for it.
story. So like my girlfriend at the time, like she used to work at a record store. Actually, when I lived out in California, but she was like all right, I'm going to sign you up for Columbia Records because if I sign you up, I'm going to get a bunch of free shit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll tell you what, I'll sign up for it, but I am not going to manage any of this shit. Like, I'll pick out the discs I want, like the 10 for a penny.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
Plus
right.
shipping and handling.
Yes.
But when they start sending me shit every month, you have to send that shit back.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not paying a penny for that stuff. It's
Yeah.
all on you. In that, you get a bunch of free CDs for signing up for suckering in some poor bastard into your
Yeah.
pyramid
Yeah.
scheme.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And so, yeah, so that was like the deal. It's like, so she signed me up. I did end up with like probably like 100 CDs eventually from Columbia House that I paid very small money for. But she had to sign that shit up. And like when it was over, it was like, cancel that shit, stop sending it back, but that's on you.
Yeah.
Anyway, Columbia House, it's a whole fucking scam.
Yeah. Totally.
Because, like, if you
have
didn't-
that anymore,
If you
I
did that, oh, it's gone. But if
Everything's
you
digital
didn't,
now. So
yeah,
it's
if you
like-
didn't send it back like within like a day of
Then you
getting
own it.
you have to pay it for
yeah,
it.
you had to pay for
Yeah.
You
it.
pay
Yeah.
full price. You have to pay
I didn't
$8.
want to. I hated having to pay shipping to send it back. So
Yeah.
I used to write on it, return to
Return
sender.
to sender.
Yeah.
So that's the trick.
Yeah.
Is, like,
Oh yeah.
that's the trick. They tell you what they're going to send you, so you just
Yeah.
have to return to sender, and you don't
I wouldn't even open it up. I don't even know
Can't
what it
open
was.
it. Yeah. But that was totally the trick. It's like,
Okay.
but it was back when we were spending $18 for a fucking CD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
don't want to fuck around with that stuff.
I don't want to pay
And
$18 for Paul Abdul.
That's right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Straight up now, tell me.
That's true.
Yeah.
I know. I don't want to love
Mark,
you
you see how
forever.
much head is on that?
Straight up.
That's a lot of foam there.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
It is. Exactly.
Am I
Yeah,
just
well,
caught
at
hit
least
and
I know
run?
it's still carbonated.
Yeah.
So they say like.
Or are
3
you
months.
just having fun?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. The
Look at all
guy
that
that used to
foam.
own this, he said it would last 6 months, no problem.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, 3 months. I plan on it not lasting 3 months.
From what I read online, everyone says to drink it within a month or two.
The video was really
Yeah.
good for this.
It's weird.
I liked Opposites Attract with the animated
cat. Yeah, the
cheetah.
animated cat. That was really
Or
good.
the
too.
cat.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
cool cat.
Cool cat.
Which became
Yeah.
like what Chester Cheetah from the Cheetos commercials, right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Which you don't see those anymore. Well, I don't
Nah.
watch TV. Yeah.
So
You know,
I'm
I'll go ahead.
go ahead, Steve.
Oh no, go ahead. Mine's stupid.
So I'm still kind of it's early stages, but I'm putting up some posters and stuff.
I like those. I saw your
Yeah,
tour.
that's
I was watching your tour.
That's what I
Yeah.
need. I need to start getting the wall stuff. That's what I'm missing.
Prototype.
I love how much
That was a
artwork
great poster.
that
Yeah.
we have up on your guys' walls. It's amazing to me. Like,
They have a
fun,
lot
yeah,
now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
you want-
you've seen all my frame stuff like that you can't see behind me. That's on.
Oh, you did Nat
These
too.
Yeah, that's I had
That's from-
Griffin.
yeah,
He printed
Griffin.
those.
That's
my
Griffin's,
mysterious poster that disappeared.
Did
from
it?
that.
Oh man.
Yep.
Yeah.
The one I gotta find is the Brofest 2. I think I have. That
I lose-
poster
I-
somewhere.
I-
That brown one.
oh,
I lose shit at every
I might
fucking
have them
event.
Still.
Yeah, I only have a few of those posters. I haven't framed them. I
So
just have
Andrew,
them up
this is
here.
the that's
Yeah.
a space heater. I just picked up 2 of these today. So I set it at 66.
Yeah. So
And
what's
it's been holding 66. I mean, I don't even need a jacket.
Miles
It's
per hour.
comfortable.
That's,
I mean, I have no idea what it's going to cost me for tonight's
Right.
electricity, but
like I said, $1 a
You
minute
know.
out here.
yeah. And
This
then I got
is
the.
an expensive show.
I
Let's
mounted
go
the,
for another
So with
hour.
the-
I'm just kidding.
I mounted the marquee things up here that I already had put together a while ago.
I know. Actually, it was
Yeah.
funny. I
Yeah.
saw like a slightly
Looks
dark
awesome.
picture of your arcade earlier, and it was like, how the fuck did he have a step-up part where like Donkey Kong 3? Like I thought there was like another row of games because it was dark.
Oh, did you?
See
Oh,
the
okay.
wall? I was like,
So when you like
Oh
look
my
at
God.
this, yeah.
it looked like you had like
Right.
Super Pack and DK3. It's like he's got like a fucking like balcony up there with games. What the fuck is going on?
And then you were commenting on my disco lights, right?
Yeah,
So,
disco.
It's one of those like drunken purchases, just like
I
Dave
gotta
and
show you
both
what
you
I
done.
got. Oh.
It's like
Like a Devo hat.
I bought. So here's Shit.
Uh-oh.
You guys hear me?
Uh-oh, you walked too far.
We can hear you. We just don't see you.
Picture
Yep,
lost.
there we are. You're back.
I'm at 20% battery now, so
Oh.
so that's the I bought it off of Amazon. It's like
Oh.
$10 or something.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to have 2 of these, and then I forgot I bought a second one, so then I wound up with like 3 of them. So I got there's one over there too, but yeah.
Nice.
What was the thing I was going to talk about? So a mini golf.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of a fun game, but I didn't realize that actually. I don't know if I can catch it at the right time, but Owen Rubin
Nice
was
looking
one of the
monitor.
developers of this game.
Oh.
Yeah, nice and bled up.
cool
So
is
you
that?
want to see you want to see a shitty monitor? Hold on a second. That one right there. That is it. Yeah.
Let me
That's
present.
my Metal Slug.
Hey,
So my
nice,
Metal Slug
nice,
monitor.
nice bezel.
Can't you see it? Yeah. That's the
Yeah,
prototype.
that bezel looks
Oh wait,
familiar.
hold on. There we go. Owen Rubin, can you see it? Can you see Owen Rubin?
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
sure
Yeah,
enough.
okay.
Yep, got it.
All right. So yeah. So that's
Is that the
Metal
paper
Slug
monitor,
4.
Jack?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay. So it's just still.
It
See the
still looks
tape?
good.
It's supposed to have all the colors, or is that like a 4-color game?
Yeah. I think it's kind of a yeah.
It's a black and white.
Yeah, you black, white, and
This
yellow.
was the this was the pre-OLED monitor version.
It's a 2-color monitor.
This is my favorite part, though. You know the
Oh.
the non-existent
Ooh, yeah.
marquee.
That's how my Toki looked
You know.
for like 6 months.
yeah.
And that's not an exaggeration.
Nope.
So in my buddy Tron guy Dylan, he rebuilt this.
No,
monitor.
your buddy. Yeah, your
My
buddy
Tron guy,
Dylan,
buddy
Tron guy
Dylan.
on KLOV. Got to
I
get
like
it straight.
I like Gax, my Tron guy, buddy Dylan.
Yes, I've been tapping the keg.
My Tron
Look
Tron
at
Dylan
that.
buddy
Guy.
guy.
So you
My
can
guy
tell I've-
Tron
that's
buddy
proof
Dylan.
That I've actually played this game some. Yeah. So, but yeah, the red. is
Tron
gone or
guy,
something.
my
Oh
Dylan
no.
buddy.
Amazingly enough, this was a 5-cent per play game. Apparently,
Wow.
I don't know where that came
What
from.
a
but-
deal.
Oh, the little nickel quarter or the nickel
Yeah.
ring, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
the nickel arcades.
that's cute. I love that.
Battle Haven.
Put another nickel in. the nickel
My 720 beater.
Lick my balls. What?
My favorite Super Sprint.
God damn
Andrew, I hope you find one at some point.
it. Thank you, brother.
Oh, my
Tron.
Maybe a trip out to Wyoming's in order.
God damn it.
Is Tron broken?
It went down that Halloween party. By the end of the night, it was just a white screen. I probably just need to unplug and reconnect everything. Here's another shitty monitor just for you, Jimbo.
Oh yeah.
It's all
That's-
nice blue.
It's just begging for my attention.
So on those Nintendo monitors, the Versus circuit boards, they have adjustment for the colors,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
I tried.
So you get adjustments on the board. You get the monitor adjustments. Like there's like 3 ways to adjust that
Yeah.
monitor.
which is nice, but
It is.
Harder
didn't
boards.
work.
Also can adjust.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't work so well now. But this one, it actually, we have
That's
the
that one
Goonies
lights.
looks great.
Yeah,
We have
Goonies
the
looks
lights in the
fantastic.
garage
Fantastic.
in here that we're
Fan-
fighting with, but
Fantastic.
It looks
yeah, it actually came out pretty
fantastic.
I
Wow.
love seeing you sitting where you were sitting because it's like you had the red tent behind you, and I'm like, oh, it's
good. Oh
better
yeah,
than-
there we go. Yeah. And my beater, Miss Pac-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was just having this conversation. Well, I've had this one before, but it's like this is my biggest thing. Why? Okay, so
That's the
my
best.
favorite.
best. Oh my
That's
God.
awesome.
That's the
Tony
great.
R loves the party.
never
I-
restore that game.
No, dude, I would
No.
totally put some tape around that and triple thick
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
All
That,
the pink,
that's like
all
the
the pink is faded out. But,
Oh, yeah.
that
I would
that is the
maybe
glory
restore
right
That's
there,
like your
right?
gyrus
Oh, I
carry.
love that.
I would,
Yeah, well, I
would
was thinking
triple
of that,
thick
the
That's
awesome-
amazing.
the awesome skull and crossbones on the Tron that I sold I traded Dave.
Uh.
Like you can't get rid of that shit. It's just
It
too
was-
perfect.
Right.
Well,
Was that
it's like
Circus
'cause-
Charlie?
Well, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was the
fuck?
game that Jimbo played at CAX.
Oh,
That we hooked up the eyes into it.
right.
Yeah, the first time
was
that I
a-
wasted Clint's time. No, the second
Yes.
time I wasted
The
his time.
second time, yeah.
So this is a super pack that had been painted black, converted to who knows what, and then eventually converted to Circus Charlie.
Yeah,
which is really
I saw that control.
bizarre.
Like, dude, that's fucking.
Yeah. I swapped the joystick out because it's
it's not the Monroe.
I think it's a 4 or 8-way joystick now.
Yeah,
they had a
Circus
2-way.
Charlie.
I still have it.
Yeah.
Because it was not a Monroe stick though. It was just a 2-way. It was like a midway kind of style joystick, but 2-way. Which I still have it somewhere. But yeah, the colors are all
style,
jacked up on that monitor too.
Gak is showing us his shame.
Yes, exactly.
And his pride. Look at that.
Yep, my home use only Star Wars. It's a little bit beat up, but that's all good. My Roadrunner, you'll be happy to know, Andrew. It's yeah,
another fantastic monitor.
It's something with the power, like the on-off switch on the back of the machine. If you just wiggle a little bit, it powers off. So there's something that's flaky, the toggle switch. So I just need to replace that. I get my second space heater.
No, my argument is like, why aren't all raster games like vector games where you can make the adjustments on the board for the size because that would solve so many problems with multis, or if you want to put a switcher in or whatever, you never have to adjust the monitor again. You just it's all on the board.
On the board, yeah exactly.
Or
that was one of the things I told
Mech. Yeah, why couldn't you build an interface board that handles that for you, where you could adjust it per board?
Yeah, before the signal gets to the mod. Yeah,
so adjust the signal, adjust the input signal game by game.
That's $1 million idea for like crafty.
There you go.
Yep.
Someone could just build a.
Gak, you need the graphics for the Star Wars stuff, huh?
They are missing on the top. These top 3 or whatever. But I kind of like I probably should not alter it because it's original. That's the way it was. I don't know. I just feel like I shouldn't mess with it.
Yeah,
that's the way it originally came.
The guy got it from his boss, who bought it at a garage sale 20+ years ago, from an ex-Atari employee out of Sunnyvale, California. So it's never actually been in a commercial arcade.
Whoa!
So, wait, what are you questioning? There's
artwork in between.
So you can kind of see the artwork.
Those
here. There's
panels.
Supposed to be artwork on those 3 sections there.
And I think doesn't
other machines
and Rich print those?
I'm sure I could, and it's like I considered doing it, and maybe even just like put some kind of removable, double stick.
Yeah, you could always pull it off. Yeah.
So it could be but it doesn't really bother me. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the way. I mean, it kind of speaks to being a older, one of the early versions of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think there's a certain beauty in leaving it the way that it was.
And it's pretty enough.
You probably can't make. Can you make out the?
And the other thing to keep in mind is that, like, if you buy brand spanking new art to put on there, it's going to be a different shade. It's going to be more vibrant than the other stuff.
That's true.
Yep.
Totally.
And then you'll be like, oh fuck, do I replace it? Yeah. So
right. It's
I would just leave it.
Yeah. Getting
and I would not
cleaning the carpets, and you're like, oh shit.
No.
That artwork.
No, it pains me to be ripping this stuff off to restore it, but if it wasn't for the other side and the kick plate, I would totally. If the other side looked at all like this, there's no fucking way. But but the fact that it's an easy vinyl to pull off.
Why is there 4 speakers on Thief? Isn't that funny?
So it's because of the tape player. Because 2 channels are the cassette, and the other 2 are the game or whatever.
Oh,
does yours have the cassette in it?
R54.
I have the MP3 mod, which I don't know if we can even hear it.
No, but that's a great shot of the speakers.
Yeah,
it's a great
R54.
So my joystick's messed up. It won't turn left. And I
at your age, sometimes.
So this stick, this stick here is like way smaller than I think it should be. This is like a zookeeper.
That's what she said.
So this is
way to take that one by the horns.
I got this whole. So I got the cabinet from. If you guys know Drewster.
Yep.
The Drewster.
Yeah. AKA
I got the
Drew.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've gotten 2 games from that man.
AKA my buddy.
So I got this.
Exactly.
I got this cabinet from.
Who's a friend of the show?
He is a friend of the show.
It was
totally
converted to like NBA Jam or something like that, and
What?
he gutted it and then sold me the cabinet because
I'd like to see NBA Jam on a thief cabinet.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Really?
So he
4
basically-
players. No.
He basically yanked everything out of it, except for like the monitor mounting brackets and that kind of stuff. And then I bought this kit off of Torrin out of Boise,
Our buddy,
our buddy Torrin, who's another
our buddy Torrin,
Yeah.
also known as
Big
Torrin.
big fan.
Also known as Torrin.
Torn on
Yeah.
KLV. Yeah.
So, and I love the kit, and it all works great. And he had the cassette player, but no cassettes. And I got the MP3 mod, and got Kumo Craig sent me the link to the file for the MP3 or MP4, whatever it was, for the file.
MP10.
But my only
Fucking
gripe
10.
on this is the joystick's not correct. Like you can see like on the my Tutankhamun here how it's like thicker and taller. I believe that's the correct stick, not this little. This is like
Thicker and
Zuki
taller
or
is always
little
the correct
dinky.
stick, my friend.
Bigger,
Yes.
longer,
Always.
harder.
Yeah. Yeah. And Tutankhamun is giving me some issues too. There's a line here and there that shouldn't be there, but it is what it is.
that's great music.
Did you mod it so
Yeah.
it can shoot up and down?
No, but you can. It actually is a little bit of a
So it's
glitch.
not getting any better, is it?
It's a glitch. You can actually, if you go up and down in a corridor or whatever, and you keep shooting left and right, you can actually shoot them when they're
Up,
chasing you.
down, up, down.
Really?
Like it's nearly impossible, but you can do it. So it's
You
kind
can
of a
do
50-50.
it.
And then there's now it's giving me the RAM 62 error on
no.
PlayStation. But like the
Not the
first
RAM
5 minutes we
62.
turn it on, it works. Yeah, not the RAM 62.
So you got to play your game within 5 minutes.
Yes,
Which is
exactly.
pretty easy in pole position.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
Isn't
true.
we
somebody
got
working
this
on like a
Zuki.
pole position board?
No, I think they gave
I
up.
don't know.
Yeah.
Nah,
It's just a rumor.
it's
That was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he started like 4 years ago.
He started like 10 years ago.
Yeah, seriously, like 9 or 10
Man.
years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. And my gyrus. This actually worked really well the whole time.
That's a
Knock on
good looking coin door you got there, Gag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
look
you.
at
What is
that.
it-
Wow.
what is Gyrus
One
run
of
nowadays?
carries many.
Like
OCDs.
what would you guys? So we got Dave from Buffalo, and you have a gyrus, and
Mhm.
Carrie has a gyrus. What's a fair price for a gyrus nowadays?
I would guess $2,000.
No,
No.
come on.
No.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so-
$2,000. Yes.
I would consider a deal probably 500 to 600 would be a deal. And-
No.
Yeah,
I don't
and
Yeah.
I
I
would
would
on
think on the,
Craigslist.
I would think on the
Yes.
top end.
They're usually
would
a
be
grand at least.
That's what I'm saying is
No,
the top
but
end.
that's why he's
800
saying
to
a
1,000.
deal.
Yeah, like if I saw a fully working one,
Sub
if I didn't
600 is
have
a
one-
deal.
What's that?
Sub 600 is a deal.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And I got mine, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago for $350, maybe $300 from a collector.
Yeah.
I like
So-
that game.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
it's a.
The reason I asked is because there's one for sale locally for like 800.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's kind of leaning on the upper end.
That's the upper end for me. That's more than I would want to spend on it. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
It's
it
got the.
looks so nice, like the Circus Charlie and Track and Field, like having those Century
Yeah.
cabinets.
Such a good
The weirdest
game. And the
thing, too.
music
Man,
and
it was
the Monroe
awesome. Really,
joystick,
music's
like
awesome.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. The Monroe
Right, like
joystick.
you have the unique joystick,
Circus
right?
Charlie
Like
and the same Monroe.
Yeah.
But
But
Yeah.
this
That's
is the
what it should
weirdest
weigh.
thing, though, with the buttons. That's the one that always threw me off. And I believe this is
Oh, yeah.
correct.
Yep.
So red for fire, red for player 1, and white for player 2 for
oh,
whatever reason.
interesting.
How weird. Is that how it's supposed to
And
be?
I believe, yes,
I've
that's
seen
correct.
That before, yeah.
Huh.
I don't know why
That's
they
odd.
did that. You know, it
I don't
doesn't
remember what mine
make
looks
much
like. I
sense.
don't think it's like that.
I don't
It's
think
probably
I don't think
green.
it's like that.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
hidden inside joke of the show.
Go
Go watch.
they're actually
Go
all
back and
cone,
watch the
One
old
of
episodes.
one of
they're
about
actually all
1,000.
cone buttons.
Yes.
That was episode 7.
Nice.
Here we got a defender.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
Andrew
I have to mention
asked the
this.
wrong
This
question.
This was one of my first big projects out
Always.
here
I know.
was the garage door modification. So I don't know if you guys can see like
The garage door modification.
Yeah.
The garage
With
door
does it
rail.
have the NOS side art on the garage door?
Yeah.
How fucking
with the
far up
garage
does
door
doors
mod?
go? That's amazing.
So we
Yeah.
have a. So
That
it's
is-
He's got the
almost
finger
an
mod
11
going
foot-
on his camera now. Oh,
It's almost an
there.
11-foot ceiling in here, And
Wow.
the original garage door rails, because normal garage doors, they just open straight back from the top of the opening.
Right.
So there used to be rails in here that went straight back, and I don't know if you might be able to see up there. There's some like mounting spots there.
Brackets were,
so that the rails used to come down like I swear it was like only a little above my head, you know, halfway through the garage.
Well, your garage is not very deep. Sorry.
It's yeah. I do not have a 4-car deep garage like you. No,
I do have a 4-car.
Mine is single car deep and 3-car
off.
wide. Yeah.
Don't feel bad, Jack.
I have the girth, but not quite the length. So
you got the girth.
What was that
Okay,
you said early on the show, Andrew? Is like a donut or whatever.
No,
we were talking about soup can.
It was a tuna can.
Tuna can.
It's the cock is wider than it is deep.
It's a phenomenon.
Your dick
So
looks
Jack, you redid the track, so
so I actually had these. I had new rails installed that
that's
that go
amazing.
Totally up high to the ceiling, because I wanted to really open this room up, because this is my arcade now, not inside the house anymore.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yes, exactly. So I'm in the slow process of making this a more fun space to use, but this shit is not cheap. I'm not going to say prices.
So will the door completely clear the top of the joist or the top of the frame there? Like if the door is all the way opened?
Yeah, it stops, right there, and that's about
Inconceivable.
about 4 feet or so into the garage.
Right, and then but like the bottom of the door completely clears the top of the frame.
You're saying up there
when it's open.
When it's open,
the bottom of the door completely clears the top, so there's no clearance issues there.
Demonstrate here.
Oh, dude, it's gonna get cold in there.
Boom, boom, boom.
Only for a second.
Yeah,
it's more like smoke will roll in here from the fire.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's not a very high ceiling. Opening here, so it's only about 7 feet here.
Okay.
So you can see like a garage door that goes up there.
So that helps.
Just
put it in perspective.
The key is just to get it high enough, because there's no reason to go any higher than this.
Right.
But then I didn't want it to go in any further than I want the minimum there.
Yep.
But you can see how like even open, it's like really high up to the ceiling.
Totally.
So it just totally opens up the room a lot.
Dude, have you thought about like blackening out the inside of those windows so that no one can peek in the door?
That was my next question.
I actually did that at my last house.
Because that's a little bit creepy if someone was like in there with a flashlight trying to figure out how to...
You can paint it black like in that movie. What was that?
So these doors are actually insulated, but of course those are not insulated there.
What was it? Fright Night. You paint them black.
Yeah, that won't terrify the neighbors at all.
No, what you do is, if you want to frighten the neighbors, you put tinfoil, which will not let any light in.
Go.
Yeah. Some people do that.
Yep.
So you can see I got the 2 fluorescent lights up there. I actually already bought them, but I don't know if you can see here.
Fans.
It turned on me, but yeah. So I'm going to put a couple of drop ceiling fans in here.
That's what I do. That's what I did in my little barcade, just to keep it cool in the summer.
Are you going to paint the walls and the ceiling and stuff too?
Yeah.
Or?
So you can see I got some paint samples here.
Samples.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think what I'm going to go with these are the 2 that kind of stick out the most. So the nightclub color here would be the ceiling. Like a really dark gray, almost black, flat. And then the sides, I'm thinking like it's this electric blue. I keep going back and forth what colors, but I definitely want to have the lights where I can color change them to get different effects. So
and you don't want it too dark then.
Yeah.
No, it's true, because like my blue, the walls behind me that I did blue, those absorb light like crazy. Like, almost no light comes off that wall.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You don't get any reflective light either.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, of course.
So
you want to go with the gray if you want some light effect.
And actually, a lighter color will show more light.
Yeah. I'm just thinking like because I don't know if you can kind of see like this has a frosted glass cover. So that there's gonna be the 2 fans on the ceiling, basically where these 2 lights are at. I'm gonna die
We're
here
at
pretty soon.
10%.
My battery, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have the 2 drop fans from the ceiling with their lights, and then I'm planning on doing maybe like 3 other lights on each side, so a total of 6 lights that'll have the frosted globes on them also, that I can have color changing on that too. So if I want to do like red, like drinkers, or
Be red,
blue, or
Yeah.
green, or whatever, just to kind of mix it up a little. But yeah, so that's kind of.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. I'm so glad we got the
Picture.
tour. Like, as soon as you like showed up in the arcade out there, it's like I want to see the tour. This, but I don't think
So
it's
what
gonna
I
happen
have
tonight.
right now, looking around here, there's if you consider the Red Tent 2 games, I've got 22 games in kind of the lineup right now, and then
Wow.
I've got there's just a bunch of shit over here. I don't know if you can.
Oh my god.
Yeah, if you peek over there, we lose connection.
Yeah, right. That's
Can you
scary
hear me?
place. Oh,
Okay.
you're back.
Yeah.
Yep, you're
Yeah,
back.
you cut out for
Okay.
a second. Okay.
So I've got another 6 or 8 machines over here.
Space
Baseball.
Duel,
That yeah,
I don't know
and I
what's
got
in there.
Robotron, another Atari System.
Robotron?
Yep.
Atari.
You don't want that, do you?
Like, what else do I have over there?
Is that a working Robotron, Gak?
Yes, yes and no. It's got a power issue where it'll reset. You can power it on and play. It's kind of like my Robotron or my pole position right now. So, and you can see over there. I don't know if you can see on the right side there on the wall. That's a Discitron cabinet, like the sides.
Yeah.
Somebody had them on Craigslist for $25. It was like,
Oh,
that's it. I'm like, maybe I'll build it up.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
Or you just buy the slide art and just stick it on the wall.
Yeah.
Well, they have side art on them, so.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So, I don't know.
Where's the sex swing?
Oh.
That's up above in the private chamber.
Do you remember the room that his wife kicked him out of?
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
where it went.
That's what it's
So eventually I plan on having this whole section over here is going to be like a bar top. And then I'm going to have like a big screen TV. I'll put a big screen TV on that wall that'll have, I can just do computer stuff on there.
Oh, dude, you could totally put it like a home theater. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Single row of chairs.
Isn't that a different hobby?
Yeah. How do you feel about popcorn?
Oh, nice. The booze, that's great.
Whee!
Yeah, I like booze.
Yeah.
Booze and boobs. The 2 B's.
You guys,
Sorry,
you guys
to
didn't take
derail. I just couldn't help myself because
the pokey joke didn't go nearly as far as I wanted it to this afternoon.
Oh.
I
was leaving for work when that started.
I was like, what the fuck are these guys seriously talking about Pokemon? I was just like, am I in the minority here? What's going on? Like,
You said you're in the
I was disappointed with the trailer, and I'm like, what the fuck? Are you serious? Like, I haven't even...
No, I said
like
the
a
movie
kids
looks
show?
stupid to me. Yeah. It's just not for my demographic.
Yeah, totally.
It's for the 90s
different.
kids.
If not the 2000 kids.
Well, don't you have to be a fan of Pokemon to?
Maybe you should play the
I
game
think
or
so.
watch the cartoon. Yeah.
That's a bowling Dragon's Lair.
Yeah,
that,
so this
that,
is
that
that.
Dragon's Lair is gonna be awesome.
That's so
it's
crazy.
an actual Cinematronics
Yep.
brand.
Dragon's Alley.
Or whatever that they did. The Cinemat system is what it's called. I've never. I tried to look online. I've only seen like
Alley
2 or 3
Slayer.
other games like this.
I
Yeah,
never even heard of that game.
No.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's it's
Oh,
got
wow,
the
Dick feels like fire.
Cinematronics.
Yeah, and it's an actual nurse's Cinematronics game. It's
Oh, that was
crazy.
funny,
Yeah.
that cool
It's a
little
laser
character
disc
don't want
bowling
that.
game.
He doesn't want you to change it.
You have to hit up at
Yeah.
the perfect time to get a
Well,
strike.
yeah, but it's already converted. So that's like Jim's Robotron. They converted to Toki. That's fine.
Yeah.
To convert to whatever he wants.
Wow, look at it with the coin door too.
He can sell that
Cinematronics.
kit.
That's a real Cinematronics.
Wow.
This was a Dragon's Lair.
That's a
It
Dragon's
was
Lair,
converted
yeah.
from a Dragon's Lair.
Yeah.
So didn't Keith give you a scoreboard? And,
Yeah. So Yeah, I can't get around to the back of this.
That's really hard to get too. By
Yes,
the way,
and I
getting
really
a scoreboard for Dragon
appreciate
Slayer.
doing that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He told me like
Someone
he's
should
got some
repro
other
that.
extra parts, and
When
I
he
need
told-
to just reach out to him. But yeah.
Yeah, he told me he was going to give that to you. I was like, oh wow, that's a
that was
nice
awesome.
gift.
Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, man. Yeah, that was definitely cool.
Pressure's
for
on.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Now.
And you have the
Yeah,
Retro
sure.
Pie and the Daphne.
All right,
set up
tell
and-
me right now, what kind of light boxes would he want? What kind of marquees would he want a light box for? Because I need to gift him some stuff, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that
No.
off air so that he doesn't know.
I don't know
Yeah,
yet. 'Cause
you're
he's
right.
going to be selling some stuff.
He's
so,
not gonna watch this shit.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's
been
gonna be
in bed for 2 hours.
he's gonna be cleaning out a lot of games. Like Keith was telling me about a lot of games. He's gonna be. Well, I think he told Carrie too. Carrie and I were over at Keith's house. Was it last night?
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, last night. And yeah, Keith's talking about like he's gonna just like get rid of like half
It's on
his
his
shit.
hyper fighting
He's just-
anniversary board.
He's sick of his games and stuff, so he just kind of wants to like, flow it all out and get something
It's-
else.
And be a
I think
complete
it's just
pin
one of
dude.
those cycles that a lot of us collectors go through. I mean,
I'm sick of all this shit.
No,
I
it's
never
just
went through
kinda
that
like-
though. I've never
sometimes
went
you-
through that.
No, yeah.
Never even had the temptation. Like I just don't.
Well, not yet, and you don't have like as many games as Keith has though. So, I'm
How many
sure it's
games does
probably,
he
like,
has outside of pins? How many vids does he have?
He's got a 3-car garage, right? And it's
I
pretty
would say at
packed.
least 10 or 15.
So I've got 16, 17 games, if you include my storage unit.
Really, Brad?
He would've had
Well, you
one
told
thing.
you set that up though. You
I
set that up.
I'm joking.
Yeah,
I don't.
I'd have to have as many games as he does. But like,
Okay.
if you don't,
Jimbo,
like,
that's
yeah.
one of those things. though. Like when
Maybe
you
it's
have
just
a,
maybe it's just that you don't ever want to.
when you get the storage thing, it's kind of
And
like
Jim's been a
out of
collector for a
sight, out
long
of mind, except for you see the bills every month.
Yeah.
But like it just seems like when you have them all like packed in your garage, and a third of them you can't even play. You're just like, there's just too much. You just get to the
Yeah,
point where
I
you
guess.
gotta purge
Well,
some
maybe
of them.
that's a good point though. Is that like I never have more than like one or two
Yeah.
projects at a time.
Yeah.
Well, but didn't you have
Keep it
like
under
most of your
control.
games in storage, and then you just had a couple at your apartment back before you moved into your current apartment?
I had 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 5 at my old place.
At your old when you back in your old place.
Yep. Yep.
Ah, yeah.
And then right before I moved out of my buddy's house, when I was living in his house, I had about 10 games
Yeah.
in his basement. So I've never never been like, oh, I've only had, a couple.
I
couple
wonder
games.
though,
Yeah.
Jim,
2 or
how-
3. Yeah.
how many years?
But I like to
games,
fix.
though.
But the thing is, though,
Yeah.
is that I don't like to have projects. I like to fix.
Yeah.
I like to get one project, restore it, be done, get the next one. I don't like to have like 5, 6, 7 things that are
It's
just
too
sitting
hard.
around that look
Because that'll
ugly.
be overwhelming and just kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't come over to
But
my
I'm-
house then.
I'm with Jim. Like, I mean, the games that I've sold, it's always been like, I don't want to sell that game. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing here I want to sell except for Centipede
Yeah.
because I have 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yep.
And a mini one.
I'm keeping the Cabaret because I love the Cabaret.
And that was with my Mega Touch. It's like I got 2. Okay.
Wait, don't you have 2 stand-up centipedes?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I have a Cabaret and then stand up.
Okay.
Cabaret.
And you have the mini one.
No,
Oh,
I have 2 centipedes in total. One
Okay.
Cabaret.
You're gonna have a little one.
And the little one.
No,
Those 2.
Cabaret is the little one.
Oh, you don't have the little. What's the little
When you say
table?
cabaret, yeah, I
The
thought you were
cabaret.
talking about a regular
Or, well, you can
cabaret.
see the back of it. Maybe if I turn that. All right, so that's the
Yeah.
back of the Cabaret that I've been working on.
Okay.
And then there's the upright, which you probably can't quite see, but it's behind
And then-
side of.
And then you have that recreation one that's
Yeah,
like
you
the
have
one
the
that
little
sits on your
baby.
desk.
You see one?
Oh,
Or was
I
that
do.
a different
That's-
game?
You're right.
So that's
Yeah.
three centipedes,
I
you
do have
liar.
Yeah, you
centipedes.
crazy.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Okay, that's what I was
All
trying
right.
to make. a point.
Right, I know. Okay, you mock you and I.
You got it. You got it. All right. have 3 centipedes.
Okay, that's the point.
Yeah,
I was
maybe
making.
one's
I'm
not quite
sorry,
as playable
I
as some of
was
the others. Yeah.
You were calling. I thought you were calling the little one on your desk a cabaret. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
a real small
not a-
cabaret.
yeah.
No, I actually have a real cabaret.
Yeah.
It's slightly gutted right now, but like, yeah, it's because I was
Cabaret
working.
for like gerbils.
Yeah. What is this? A school for ants?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Still outside.
I think that was a misquote from Zoolander, but yeah. Got it. Yes, I have 3
I
centipedes.
think we lost Gak.
All right. Can you hear me?
Oh, there he's back.
I had to go to the bathroom. I can't text you guys or anything. Like I'm
What?
on my
Nice
phone.
fingers.
Oh,
Usually
that's oh yeah, yeah. Nice fingers. Oh wait, that didn't work.
Oh no, I lost it. Okay.
Substitute F for G.
We're still-
no.
Yeah.
Usually I'm like,
D
potty
for-
break, be
G,
right back.
G for
but-
F.
Oh, we got
Yeah,
the
that's
camera
right, because you're on your
direction.
phone.
I don't
Let's
give
see
a
here.
duck.
And it looks like Dave's
There we
going.
go.
Looks like Dave's going to bed.
All right, bye, Dave.
See you, Steve. I mean, Dave.
Is he sleeping?
As you
he-
Or maybe he's already gone. I can't
He's
tell.
frozen.
He's frozen. Yeah.
He's frozen. I tried to present him, but he's
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And dang it, Carrie, I didn't even get to hear. I forgot.
Halloween.
Yes, I want to hear your Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
experience.
Yeah, no, I can go through that real quick because you're right. Now it feels like forever since Halloween because we're almost at Thanksgiving. But you know that is the way that we live our
I feel
lives.
like I presented your
Yeah.
photos last week, though.
You got ready to present my photos, but I don't think. But did we? I don't think I actually. I don't think we actually got to talk about it because you queued them up.
Oh.
But I think I didn't
All right.
actually talk. Or did we? I don't know. Does anybody remember?
I
I don't
thought
think
we
you did.
did,
I
but-
listened to
Oh.
it.
I don't think so. I think we talked
Okay.
about it in
We
Slack.
started to, and then I think
I do. Yeah, and I do remember that Jim had them all ready to go.
Yep.
And then,
Uh-oh.
wah, wah.
Yeah, you dicks. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. That was
Last
rude.
week,
Well,
no,
we
it
started
was
talking about
no, it was
gaplises.
3 of us.
Gaply. Yeah, there was.
Yes.
Yeah,
The twins
And
you
we
guys
thought that-
had.
Yeah.
we thought we were gonna stretch out the stories, and all of a sudden, like we had lots of people, and we started.
Yeah, they
chatting,
came in
and it was
later.
like,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah, they wanted to wait for us to be all warmed up. So I opened the garage up on Halloween as this. So this is my second year doing it with the full. I had I think 13 bids, 3 pins, and 1 redemption game, aka whack-a-mole. All set up, and probably had. Well, I should say my little town is known for owning Halloween. Like, so I live near a town called Half Moon Bay, which does this big pumpkin festival, and they are all get into the pumpkin things, and they have like this little festival with pumpkin ice cream, and people come from all over to buy their pumpkins, which is funny because they put them like in fields, but in reality, they'll ship in. You see,
Yeah,
like,
they
you
aren't
know,
actually grown there.
they
right?
are
Yeah.
so not grown there. You actually see people putting the pumpkins there, like in the trucks. If you don't live here, you're like, oh, look at, they're loading up the pumpkins. But that's okay. It's still a lot of fun. So people do come and do the pumpkin thing. And so Half Moon Bay can have all that shit. We own Halloween. People decorate. One of the streets near me, they actually close it. They close it down, put up, the pylons and all that. And they have, there's a woman who does like all these carved pumpkins. They have people who go through the street. They'll do like they dress up as like zombie nurses, and they hand out Jello shots to the grown-ups.
Oh, wow.
People do
Nice.
like haunted houses. And yes, now the Pièce de Résistance is the arcade that opens up on Halloween. So I actually had
Wow,
some.
you just one-upped everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
I like to think that I added to the ensemble of
Yeah.
Halloween.
Really
Awesomeness.
loving you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Which I can do as long as it's not raining. 'cause
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, because John Colpe who's probably 20 minutes from me, his setup is better, so his games are a little farther from the edge of his garage, and he's in a little more of a protected direction. Whereas mine, if any Halloween that's raining, I'm not going to be able to do it. And basically that's my disclaimer when I talk to folks. It's like I'll do it as long as it's not raining, but I'm just not set up. I have carpeting in my garage. My games are probably 3 feet from the garage edge, so it's like I don't have an overhang where it would protect them. So it's like I can't do it if it's going to rain. But so I opened it up and I had the rows of games. I opened it up probably around 7:30, 7:45. So after the little kids had a chance to get their trick-or-treating on. And it was so cool. I had repeats, folks, repeats from people from last year who came back. I had the one girl who was like a princess last year. She came back as a different princess this year. She's probably like 6 or 7 and was bashing the shit out of whack-a-mole. But it was awesome because I probably had, I would say over 100 people.
Wow.
In and out of the garage. Great. It was, and I stayed open till I actually Mule on KLOV gave me this cool little sign where you can like put your letters on. It's a little light up sign, probably the size of like a sheet of paper kind of thing. And so I had put on it like arcade open from whatever the hour. I forgot when I put like 7:30 to 9:45. I ended up kicking out the last person about 10:15.
That's late for Halloween.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, and it starts dying around 9:30, 9:45 ish, and but yeah, there was one last gal who had been driving by and saw, and I was like, go, go, go. I start turning things off, and she's like, oh, are you shutting down? And then it was so funny. She's like, do you have a Facebook page or something so I can see when you're gonna do this again? And I'm like, no, lady. I'm like, next Halloween if it's not raining. Yeah. I've thought of maybe doing it at 4th of July.
That's a good one.
Yeah, like another one where people are kind of out and about and things like that. But it was so cool. It was like I love doing it. I love sharing. I love sharing the arcade and just seeing like the people walking by because they start to walk by and then they do the double take. Like what? Like
what the what?
Yeah. Like and especially the kids, like when they're walking by, and my daughter's there, and this year her boyfriend was over there too, and it was like, oh, hey, yep, everything's on free play, come on up, and especially like so they walk past.
What a dick thing that would be like. It's quarter play.
Yeah.
For Halloween.
I had I seriously had a kid ask if I had a quarter machine. I had another kid like turn to somebody and say, oh, I don't have any quarters. I'm like, no, it's everything's on free play. Just walk up.
You need a sign.
You need a sign. It's free play.
Yeah. Well, I end up talking. Yeah, I end up talking to everybody anyways. They're walking by.
Free.
Yeah. It's like just come on up and just press start on any game and it's ready to go. But it was one of my favorite moments. So I had people who had been last year. I had people who had heard about it, but didn't see it last year. And then, exactly. Like, we heard about this. And then had folks who, obviously were brand new to it. One of my favorite moments was, and it's cool because it's like you see people of all ages, and it's interesting to see, kind of where they gravitate to. And because it's often parents trick-or-treating with their kids, you have the parents getting all excited as well as the kids, and so they go to so they're playing games together. And like there was a mom playing Mortal Kombat with her 8-year-old. It was like
play together,
right?
Fatality.
Yeah.
I know Scorpion's fatality.
Well, and I have to say overall, people aren't playing real great, but folks are stoked about it, and it's fun to watch parents talk to their kids about oh, this is pole position, this is you do this and just press here or and I got tons of do you bring games in for this or do you actually
I rent these.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
To come play them for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I seriously, people think that I brought them in. I do this for parties. It's it's how I make my living. No.
You're an operator.
Yeah.
All right.
You're an operator.
So,
Yeah.
so Carrie, when you first open up your garage door, how long does it take until the first kid comes? Like, what time did you open your doors at?
It was like 7:30, 7:45 ish.
And how long?
So the
till
sun
someone
was
came
starting to
in
go
there?
down at that
Yeah,
point.
I mean, it 3 minutes.
Oh my God!
Yeah, no, well, partly because this is where people bring their kids because of all the stuff that goes on. Like, and where I live is kind of a prime location because it's right around the corner from where like a lot of the stuff is
All the fun
happening.
stuff is. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
so I'm kind of in the heart of it. So
Yeah.
it took like almost no time. And actually Gino came over, which was a lot of fun because he
Oh,
wanted to see the
cool.
spectacle,
I like Gino.
That's cool.
as he put it.
Yeah.
And it was awesome because it's like he was there actually because I was like taping. He suggested like the cord for whack-a-mole. He helped me like tape stuff down, and so he was there when I was firing things up. And yeah, it took 3-4 minutes max before the first people were
Wow.
coming.
So what you're saying is you didn't have to dress up like a nurse and start giving away booze to the parents.
No.
Which that is a great idea, though.
Yeah, no.
To do that and the arcade.
I know.
Yeah.
Like I would totally dress up like a Jello shot nurse to get kids in the arcade, but I would get arrested.
Yeah,
I would just dress up like the Kool-Aid man, but it's jungle juice you're pouring for all the.
You're pouring like Everclear, like fucking
Everclear.
Just some nasty purple passion, like gonna get you fucked up.
Purple passion.
Jungle juice.
So
You.
my two favorite moments were seeing the girl from last year, the little princess who was killing whack-a-mole, who came back and played for a long time. Her dad just sat on the driveway.
Oh,
was
no way.
Totally cool guy. Just sat on the driveway and watched.
Meditating.
And I'm having groups of people congregate in the
Doing
driveway.
yoga.
Where are the pictures, Jim? Put them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be a slideshow going.
I have to hunt like weeks.
Yeah, sorry.
Can we present Jim and he can show?
If he's ready, yeah.
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
You can just present me, and I'll
keep
look, it's me.
Every
blah blah blahing on. So people were congregating in the driveway. So it just ended up being like this social space too, which was really cool because especially towards the end of the night when people are getting like
my soundboard.
It's
an interactive experience. You get to choose.
Let's have them on my photo bucket or something.
That's the weirdest.
No, I have to search because she hasn't. She hasn't like I have to look like a week ago.
Yeah,
like the last time she sent them to me. I'm not ready. Yeah.
So we can't watch them.
So people were congregating in the driveway, and it just kind of became a social space. Well, the adults were talking, the kids were in there, or whatever, or kids were hanging out. It just became kind of this friendly space. For folks to be there. And so one of my favorites was the girl who came back, and she played for quite a while in whack-a-mole because that's her game. But if anybody came up, and my daughter actually even commented on this, Taylor was like, yeah, if anybody came up, as soon as she was done with the game, she'd ask if they'd like to play, and then she'd step aside while they played, and then she'd go back in. So she was learning proper arcade etiquette.
Nice.
Which is awesome. And my
So
other
put a quarter up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Which would be dangerous on whack-a-mole because you could be like, whack,
yeah, right.
It falls down. And then my other favorite moment. Well, there was also the mom and the kid who were playing Mortal Kombat together, which is really adorable. But I also really enjoyed. There was mom and dad who came up who had a girl who was probably like tweenish, like 12, 13, just at that like kind of sour.
I'd rather be playing on my iPad Touch.
Yes, that was and they had a younger kid who went running into the arcade, and I think mom went into the arcade, and dad was there with the girl. Actually, I guess mom was there for a little while, and who was and they were talking about like, oh, how awesome this is, and the games these days aren't, it's, you don't have the same thing, you don't have that big collectible, thing, and so in years to come, it's not going to be the same sort of experience where you walk into this space, into this shared space to enjoy these sorts of games. And she got all like, what do you mean by that? Like we have things, and she just totally was getting into the 12, 13-year-old girl thing. And I'm like, we're all right there. Like, oh, yeah.
I'm going
I
to
know
disagree with
exactly.
anything you say.
Huh.
Go ahead and throw something out there.
Yes,
I'm just
totally. Yeah, and totally getting
Yes.
into that. And it was like, and it was fine because we all knew what was going on. So it's like, okay, you listen, all right. But then she
Yeah,
ended
Candy
up.
Crush is way better. I get it.
Yes, yeah, totally. Yeah. What do you
Fruit Ninja,
mean?
such a
Yeah.
solid fucking adventure.
Yeah.
I love playing Fruit Ninja with all my friends.
So somehow her and her dad end up going into the arcade, and he's actually he knows a lot of this stuff. He actually talks a little bit about like vector monitor stuff. And so they go into the arcade, and in fact, at some point I start geeking out because Asteroids Deluxe is at the end of one of the my end games in the arcade when you open up the garage door. And so I'm actually like showing them how you have the monitor at the bottom, and there's the mirror, and that's how you see it. And it's like, oh my God, that's so cool. So like we have a great geek out moment, and so people go and play, and I'm doing my thing out in the garage, and whatever it is, it's like 10, 15 minutes later, and they walk out, and the girl is like, Asteroids Deluxe is so awesome. I'm so addicted. That's the best game. And I'm like, no fucking way.
I want that game on my iPhone.
Yeah, right. But it was so awesome to see her have gone from like, oh, like, what do you mean, to this,
Mom
to
and
like,
dad like this stuff? No fucking way.
yeah, this is, yeah.
Your daughter kind of has that a little bit sometimes. She
Yeah,
used to.
She's not at all into the games. That's true, but she appreciates other people appreciating them, which is great fun. Because she has pretty much zero interest in playing them herself.
Yeah.
But I bet she gets a kick out of seeing people enjoying them, though, right?
Yeah, like she got her boyfriend to come and hang out, and she was there ready to direct people, and like she loves.
She's
the
not
Halloween
like
experience.
Cool Pay's kid who is like, I don't get why people like being
I
here
know.
so much. I just want to punch that little kid. I actually fed it. I like gave him a taste of sarcasm. That was at the Halloween party, and he's like next to me. He's like, he's like, I don't understand why people like being at my dad at our house so much. With all these games. And I was playing a game next to him, and I turned to him and like, I don't know either. This place is a shithole. Or I said something like this. I gave him a complete dry because I couldn't stand it anymore because he kept parading around like. I don't understand why people like. I don't get it. Why people like coming to our house? And I'm like, me either. This place is a dump.
Yeah. That was funny.
And I did not. Yeah, I was so. I couldn't stand it anymore. Like, fuck you, little shit.
Like a little 6-year-old understands sarcasm.
Oh no. I think was he even 6? I don't even know, but
I think he's actually probably of like 8. Yeah.
Oh, I was so fed up with it. I'm like, would you shut up? Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah,
they're not coming here for your attitude.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Are you
pretty? Yeah. Pretty
I'm not going to give in to your little.
We did lose Gak.
We lost Gak.
Hi, Gak.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, he just came back. So
hey, my phone died.
I figured that. That's why I was just talking about you. Did your ears burn?
Yep.
I just plugged it in. It took a little while to charge up. So.
All right.
I've heard that.
I missed the rest of the conversation. I'll have to listen back. So.
I was just talking about children.
Yes, exactly.
And how much I love them.
So I'll just say in terms of like the play of games this year, like because I had so many people in the arcade, it was totally crowded.
Wow. I want to see some pictures. Post them.
Yeah, and sadly, it's like even if we had them, it just doesn't capture it very well.
There,
which is
one that you had that was out front where people were playing whack-a-mole. I think that's what.
Carrie, next year, my request is to record a video. We'll do a walkthrough of the video.
Do that.
Yeah,
that's a short one, and just throw it on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, I know that's a good idea. So yeah, because most of the game, one of the questions that came up was, what was got played the most, and it's like almost everything was played a lot.
Wow.
And just the way that because of the placement of the games, like the pins got a ton of play, but like everything got a lot of play.
Even Karate Champ?
Yes,
even Defender?
even karate, yeah, even
Even
Karate Champ.
Defender?
I
Yeah.
don't believe
Come
that.
on now, react.
I
I know.
gotta see that.
Love. Come on.
Yeah,
Well,
but,
she didn't invite them into her house, though. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the side. Okay.
yeah, no, I draw some
Alright.
lines there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was in the garage. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just what's in the garage, and people have to be, if they really beg and plead, I'll let the occasional person I've talked to a lot go to the bathroom. But yeah, I mean, Mortal Kombat's right on the end, and that gets a lot of play because people recognize that, and it's a fighting game. The pins get a lot of play. The pole position also is on an end, and because it's a very approachable driving game, that gets a fair amount of play. But that particular road, not everything is working. So I have the way it's set up. It's like 5 vids, and then I have another in the next row that faces it is another 5 vids, and that backs to the other row of 5 vids. So I have 15 vids, but in that last row, only 3 in that row were working. So that was a little bit of a darker row, and then and they're facing my games that need some, that are projects. So they're facing the project games. So that group didn't get quite as much play, but that kind of makes sense between both the fact that there's not as much going on right there, and also that we don't, that it was just so crowded to try to get in and around that it's like I can see where that was the case, but it just like everything got a lot of play.
Do you ever have like a grown up where like sends the kid in, but he's like looking in, like thinking maybe I should go in there, and then you kind of have to coax him a little bit and go, "Hey, come on in, just check it out."
Oh, hell no.
Oh, okay.
No.
I used to have to do that with my pumpkins because they'd be standing way far back.
Interesting.
I go, "Hey, well, do you want to come on up, check it out? Come on over here, and if you want to see it." And then they would like feel okay to come in because it's not just for kids, kind of a thing. And
yeah, and
my dad would give them a candy too. I'd be at my parents' house. Yeah, my dad would always give the parents a candy if they walked up.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and that's one of the, actually this year too, like people were walking past candy. We had a bowl of candy out. It was like, if you want candy, and like nobody gives a shit about the candy. They're just all
wow.
And
I was forced to eat a lot of it.
Yeah, that's right. We had to do
Tough
something
job.
about making certain that the candy was consumed. So yeah, it was just and it's always just such a rush. Like it motivates me to continue to do it again next year, because people have so much fun, and it's it's like sharing the games is just so tremendous, and it
I was going to invite out the trick-or-treaters to come in and play games, but I didn't want to get arrested.
Yeah, right. It's a little creepy.
Come in my apartment, little boy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Come on in. Yeah.
It's a lot harder to do that as a single dude. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there is that.
Let's
too.
recreate the awkward different strokes episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you like bicycles, Arnold?
Yeah. Bicycle. What's the boss
What
of
you talking about?
ARP doing here?
Yeah.
What are all these magazines you have on your coffee table?
Oh.
Yeah.
I've never seen these cartoons take off their clothes like that.
10 ways to be sure to get what? No.
Yeah.
Didn't he give him alcohol too? He's giving him like
he gives him booze,
like liquor.
Yeah, liquor.
Wow.
He gets Dudley all fucked up.
That's a fucked up episode.
It's the most fucked up episode ever. It's on YouTube because it's so fucked up.
It makes me think of it's old school where those kids show up like to get back at the other fraternity. They send like a school bus of children to the frat party, and all these little kids get all fucking shit faced, and then one kid comes up to the guy and he's like, "God, this rum tastes like shit. You got any scotch?"
Well, what's that from?
I don't
The
remember.
movie Old School.
Oh yeah.
Remember the one like snobby the one frat house or whatever? They're trying to get back at the the main,
The man,
the man, yeah, the Godfather and his, and so they send like a school bus of children to this party that they're hosting, and these little kids get all shit faced.
I don't even remember that part.
Oh,
yeah, it's good. Yeah.
I saw the movie too. I don't remember that.
I gotta cut out my phone.
I should too. It's fucking 1:20.
It is late. Oh God, yeah.
I actually meant to go to bed like 2 hours ago.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh my God! I don't know, but we'll do it again next Tuesday.
All right.
Fucking video
Why?
shoot tomorrow.
We're the longest continuously running video arcade video podcast.
Live arcade podcast.
There we go on YouTube.
I'm glad you had some drinks tonight. Yeah.
Whether they like it or not, we're the longest running.
We
stress not.
How many people are watching the show now? 2? Oh, 5.
5.
It doesn't matter. We're hanging out with each other.
I'm not on YouTube. I don't tune in on YouTube anymore. So
I don't either.
Yeah.
That's pretty pure. That's a pure link.
Pure 5 and 5. If I'm looking at it, do I count as the 5?
Yeah, if you're in YouTube. Yeah.
So for the short-term foreseeable future, this is the way I'm going to be doing this, just for my phone probably out here.
It works really well.
It's
pretty good.
My issue is charging and having the headset at the same time.
Because they took
they
took the headset out of the iPhone, those assholes.
Right. That's total bullshit.
I know, I hate them.
That's 2 strikes for Apple recently.
Yeah.
Time to switch.
Oh boy.
Come to the dark side.
I'm about to. I'm so tired of Apple's bullshit. I really am.
All right, guys. So
all right, later, Gak.
And I'll see you next week.
All right, so let's call it a night, you guys.
Yep.
So thanks everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thanks everybody for coming. And
next show
longer. Yeah. We may have started later than normal. Well, not normal. We may have started later.
We may have started on time for us.
I think we're starting at 8:30 now.
But hey, we went probably close to an hour later than normal.
Yeah.
Normal. It's So
it starts later, but ends later.
Think about that one.
We'll make up more on the back end.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. Good night.
Bye, 5 people.
Yeah, right.
See you 5. Freedom 5ers.